Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? We've been live for 30 seconds. That did not tell me that we have been live. I hope you guys got used to me just sitting here awkwardly waiting for the light to go red. But welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Italy versus the Springboks. Now, Italy in their Northern Hemisphere tour, they are undefeated. The Boks, they are yet to get themselves a victory. So this game, there is a lot on the line, and it would be one of the monumental upsets of the November internationals. I said that very weird, but if the Springboks did lose to Italy here, but we will be getting straight into the match in about 10 to 15 minutes time. We have, how's everyone doing, says Gareth. That was very awkward for me. See, the live streaming software is updated, and I just sat there waiting to see the normal live, and then I saw 34 seconds in, and I thought, oh no, I've just been sitting here awkwardly. At least I was smiling, though. You guys got to see what I do in my build-up, which is literally just sit here waiting, see how it goes. And Tonga just beat Uruguay, so the Island boys off to a win. Says Gareth, and of course there is a big match coming up later on in the Rugby League World, Samoa versus Australia. That's going to be a monumental fixture when it does take place, and we will be covering it live on the channel as well. How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited for this game, intrigued with what we see from the Springboks. The last 2 weeks of performances up against Ireland and France have not been the best we have ever seen from South Africa. Here are the results right here. They've had close games, don't get me wrong. They've been right in them till the final whistle, but they would have loved to be able to get themselves at least one victory out of those two fixtures to build that momentum heading into the last game that they have got, which is going to be up against England. That is next week, and a massive, massive game. We're going to be covering that one on the channel as well. Whereas Italy, they've had a great start to their November internationals. They've had Italy versus Samoa, winning that one 49 points to 17, 28 points to 27, a record-breaking win for the Italians. We have never seen it before for them to be able to beat the Wallabies. So the question is, can they do it for the first time ever to get themselves a win over the Springboks? And this one in Barbarians, Quinn game was off the roof. That was an absolutely amazing fixture, and I'm so glad that they had it streaming live on YouTube because everyone got to see that game. Good morning. Let's see if I can survive the night. I had me a nice little sleep. Says Novmum there. Believe it or not, I have just come back. I would say about 30 to 60 minutes ago. I came back from a 21st birthday party. So it's already been a relatively big evening. Me and George, we've picked up a few stories from that one that might get said throughout the night of live streaming. But yeah, interesting what you learn from being on a night out, I guess. I got a big multi for this weekend. I need the Boks to win. Come on, the Boks. Says Westside. I wonder what else are involved in your multis. Westside, do let me know. Are there any other underdogs maybe that you got along there? Jack Jackson has said, let's go the Springboks and thought it was better Steph Toy. Suspension, says Ed. Unfortunately, it seems to be no matter what, whether it's a red card or anytime there is a red card, it seems to come along with the suspension. So it's a bit of a shame that he's going to be missing for a while and not going to be able to play in that English game, but hopefully we do get to see him back relatively soon. Better Steph Toy, like they said, it's one of his first ever cards that he has received. He's not a dirty play. He just got it very wrong in that one. And Quacker Smith, I feel like they should have given half the suspension to him, seeing as he did push him into that tackle. But we will look through at the starting lineups. And of course, like we mentioned, Peter Steph Toy not there for the South Africans. But first of all, we'll look at Italy. It is going to be Fischetti in the front row alongside Nicotera and Cesarelli. Then at number 4, Cannoni and Rusa. They will be the lock-in duos, or duo, I should say. Negri, Lamaro, and Cannoni there as the loose forward trio. Then this dangerous backline that's been scoring a lot of points throughout this November international season. Varney, and then Tommaso Allen will get to start at number 10. Monty Ioane out on the wing. Watch out for him to have a big impact. Moresi, Juan Inacio Brix, Pierre Bruno, and then Capozio at number 15. That is the Italian side that they've decided to put out for this fixture. See how they do end up going. Looking through at the Springbok side for this game. Oxneshare, Bongium Banambi, and Franz Malharba. So a little bit of a change to what we have seen for the Springboks in recent weeks, but I believe they're going with the strongest off the bench. That involves Kitsoff and Malcolm Marks alongside Vincent Cox. So they've gone with this side. Still very solid. Still loves a rolling maul and could be effective for the Boks in this game. Salman Moura and Marvin Ori, a new locking duo, completely new from what we saw last week. For the first time in a long time, we will see Eben Etzebeth making his way off the bench. Then from there in the loose forward trio, Sia Khaleesi at number 6, Franco Mostert at 7. That is due to the suspension of Peter Steph Toy. And then it is going to be Jasper Wiese there at number 8. That closes out the 4-pack. Looking through at the back line, Faf de Klerk at number 9, Damian Willemse at 10. I am excited to see what this combination can do. We know Faf de Klerk will put up a few box kicks, but the thing is there's a dangerous back three for the Italians waiting for that ball. They love a bit of territory battle out there on the park, and they will be looking forward to seeing if the Boks are willing to go straight into that game plan of the Italians. Looking at the midfield combo, Andre Esterhuizen there at 12, and number 13, Damien De Allende. So normally playing inside centre, De Allende finds himself at outside for this game. Curtly Odense out on one wing, so still no Makazole Mapimpi in the starting lineup 2 weeks in a row. That is also a real rarity for the Boks. Chislin Colby and number 14, and Villiers Leroux will be slotting in at number 15. I see that it is 15 degrees in Italy for this game, so a nice temperature to be able to play a little bit of rugby. And Leinster played Chile and killed them yesterday, says Gareth. And I do see that Portugal have been able to get themselves into the Rugby World Cup. So we have seen there Italy have beaten South Africa once in the past. And it was actually over 2 years ago when we did see these two sides play last. It was in the Rugby World Cup 2019. And will you ever do live commentary on Country Calendar? Probably not. I feel like for a start, I'd have to start watching Country Calendar. But then to be able to do the commentary of it, it might be just a bit difficult, seeing as I would just be, hey, there's a sheep. Hey, there's a plant. That's about it. Yep, Peter Toya, hard done by, says Johnny, and I played for an Italian team for 2 seasons. So go Italy, says Gareth, and Forza Italia. Another loss for the Boks. To blame the ref, says Corporal Jones, and get up, Bok. AB's fans behind you, says Thorfinn, and go Italy. Want to see how Rassi will react? Well, we won't see him at the game, that is for sure. Of course, the big news of the week was Rassi Erasmus getting himself another suspension and another ban from the South African setup. It's really not working out too well for that man at the moment. These are the benches, I should mention as well, for Italy and South Africa. Lucchesi, there at number 16, Nema, Ferrari, also Sisi, Zuliani, Garbisi coming off the bench, Padovani, and also Minoncello. And a number 23 for the Boks. Like I mentioned, the bomb squad in action. Malcolm Marks, Stephen Kitsoff, Vincent Koch, 3 very dangerous players. And if you didn't think that the bomb squad could get any stronger, have an Ebenezer there at number 19. Quaka Smith also going to be coming off the bench alongside Ivan Ruas, a player who everyone has wanted to see for a very long time in a Springbok kit once again. Kobus Reinach and the youngster Mani Labok there as the last man off the Springboks bench. But Andre Esterhuizen, he is a player, like they mentioned, doing extremely well for the Harlequins throughout the Gallagher Premiership. Now gets the opportunity to try and translate that into international level. My only contestable pick is Australia to get over Ireland, Samoa over Romania, Scotland over Hargies. Any 4 multi from 9 picks, says Westside. And let's go the Bok. And also as Ivan Ruiz on the bench, he certainly is. So he will be one a lot of Springbok supporters have got their eyes firmly grasped on when he makes his way off the bench. Game of the week, Canada versus Namibia on soon, says Gareth there. Could be an entertaining game. Tell you what, some of these lower tier teams know how to put on a brilliant show. That man had a little bit of a mouse on his forehead. I think he might have taken a bump in the training. Well, that's a big Italian flag. I think it's fair to say that Italy have got a little bit of support at their home ground. Final score prediction. For me, this is a game that the Springboks need to go out and show exactly what they can do, because they've got England next week and they don't want to be underprepared. They don't want to go into that game 3 games lost in a row. But it's so hard to tell what Springbok side we're going to see. Are we going to get to see that beautiful running game that we saw throughout the Rugby Championship, or are we going to get to see the kind of more methodical style, kick it in behind, use the forwards? I think they can do a nice combination of both, which is why I'm saying the Boks will win this game by 13 points. I think we're going to see a decent performance from them in this match. And Boks just look way too strong on paper. Last game of the year, let's go, brothers. Not quite. They play England next week, but I believe it's the last game for Italy of the November internationals. And hi from Cape Town, says Rennie. And there as well, welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing well. Do let me know your score predictions as well, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting this night off with an exciting fixture between Italy and South Africa. The next live stream that we have got, it will be Australia versus Samoa in the Rugby League World Cup final. After that, England versus the All Blacks. And then to close out the night, we are going to be doing Ireland versus Australia. So there is plenty of rugby action happening on the channel for the next 9 hours. We will have something going on the Kiwi lads. If you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're closing in on that 20,000 subscriber mark. And I don't want to get too confident, but I think there's a chance we may hit it by the end of all of these live streams. Will we see another card? Probably. Unfortunately, in every game of rugby lately, we're seeing at least a yellow card, if not red. I think they'll muscle Italy out of this one, but I'll cheer the underdog, says Johnny, and I picked Canada in that one, although I have no idea and how they've been going. Namibia also, says Westside, an afternoon. Hamish, did you manage to catch Leinster 3 red, destroy Chile? Where's the guitar, by the way, says Finton? That is true. The South African national anthem is just about to play. See if we can smash it out first time. Wait up. The lady threw me off because she wasn't actually playing the music, and if they were, it was very quiet. And she was kind of putting her own little remix, little wiki in the middle of it, so that made it hard to play along. That's what I'll blame anyway. Good evening, all you beautiful people, says Jada Best Yet, says Finton. And there, but Damien Willemse, this is a big game for him because there have been question marks. Is it going to be Willemse going forward at number 10, or will it be possibly the option of Mani Lebok as the future Bok number 10? And also Henry Ravichandran has it. Can you remember me, bro? I can, because I couldn't say your last name last time, and I still can't say your name very well. But I can say Henry, so welcome back, mate. If you're doing well, French Barbarians versus Fiji should be good as well, says Gareth. Yeah, there's far too much rugby on at the moment. Like, I'm not, I am complaining a little bit because we can't watch it all, but so much rugby. It's pretty much coming down to each time there's a game on, you've got to decide, do you want to watch this one or do you want to watch a different one? You know, you've got Wales versus Georgia also taking place at this exact same time, where rugby is run by underground betting syndicates, mob bosses, mafia, and oligarchs. I think it's just run by idiots, I think is the best way to describe it. Can I say that? I'm a rugby YouTuber, so maybe I'll get myself in trouble. And also this lady is singing in slow motion, so slow. It is. It's actually a very, very slow rendition. Ted, we shall stand there for freedom. Yeah, it's extremely slow. This anthem will be done in 3 to 5 business days. Tell her to hurry up. I don't think I can control that too much. And is Flick in your town? And I don't mean that little fire truck. As someone that drives behind overcars at night doing the speed limit, flicking his high beams on and off. No, I don't believe so. A nice one, Chad. Says Vinton, and so slow Sunday already, says Cited. And also have 3 screens and watch them all, says Gareth. Oh, we got the Italian national anthem. I feel like they'll probably do it in 2 times their speed just to make sure that they get to the game in time. He looks happy to be there. Looked very sad. I feel like maybe he knows something we don't. Does he know what the result of this game is going to be? Perhaps. But South Africa, they're going to have a massive game here. I can just feel it. And if they don't, I know that everyone in South Africa is going to be very sick of them because they want to see some good rugby. We have seen South Africa A lose 2 games in a row. We have seen the Springboks lose 2 games in a row. I don't want to have to say they've lost 3 in a row, and one of those games being up against this Italian side. Don't get me wrong, Italy are coming a long way in the URC and also just in general rugby, but the Boks should win. And it's the question of whether or not they will. I do enjoy a bit of opera singing. And Italian speed, says Cited and you're back in for Wales versus Georgia. I think Wales should win, but Georgia are a bit of a dark horse, although they didn't really offer too much in their game up against Samoa, which is why I'll go with Wales by about 21. I think it will be, and they could sing it as Mojo Jojo, says Kiwi Gamer in there as well. I think that fan had a Nigerian flag. Or it might have actually been the colours of the Italian. No, it was the Italian flag. Never mind. I thought it was a Nigerian flag. And if we lose this, we're going to start supporting literally anyone else, says Jad. And well, that's South Africa. And they've almost put me to sleep. It was very slow. I will admit that it just seemed like there was almost like someone had got that remote and gone half speed. Oh, jeez, Lamaro's fired up. Angry Lamaro. And if we lose this, I'm going to start supporting literally anyone else and also players to watch from both teams. I would say if I had to pick an Italian to watch out for, I would say Lamaro just because he's angry. And also if I had to pick a South African, I would say, Cheslin Colby, I like the fact that he's out on the wing here, but he's marking up with Montijuani, so it's going to be a tough day at the office. So I'm going to go, who's a player that I want to say is going to do well? See, that's the problem. With South Africa lately, it's hard to say who's going to actually step up in their lineup. I'm going to say it will be someone in that back line. In fact, I'm going to go Damien Dialende. He's moved to outside centre. He's still not going to be too bad. First try scorer of South Africa, I reckon. I think it's going to be a Bongi Numbi rolling maul try that South Africa get for themselves in the first moment of this game. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very hyper throughout these next few live streams. Like I've mentioned, I've been to a 21st birthday party. So everyone there was all happy and smiley and yelling and whatnot because it was quite a loud venue. So I feel like I've still got all the energy from that. And some interesting stories along the way. We almost ended up having to take a random Irishman home because his friends all left him. Unfortunately, they just all pretty much ditched him. And then the lady at the bar was like, he's with you, isn't he? And we were like, no. And she was like, yeah, you could take him home. But then he hopped in a car and someone got their foot run over. It's a weird story. Will beer make you sleepy? Says Gareth. Well, I didn't actually drink anything because I knew I had all these live streams in a row. Well, Robbie should just give us the outcome of the game because we know it's already predetermined. I wish they would so that we could know who to bet on for the TAB. And as I'm playing, he is still injured, unfortunately, so a little bit longer. That South African anthem was quite slow. I think she did struggle with the Afrikaans part. Is quite low. And let's go. The box says Alta. And also the Wallabies lost to this team. Let's hope there's no red cards or crazy refereeing. So it's going to be Matthew Carley in charge of this one. Now, he is normally a referee who doesn't take any nonsense from the players. And also we got the Wallabies B team lost to Italy. Says Ed. So Damian Willemse about to kick off this game, ladies and gentlemen. Our first game of the night of 4. And Willemse kicks off long, deep into the 22 of Italy. And they will be looking to really keep the phases in their favour early on in this contest. They're only a few metres out from the line. Varney goes off to the short side. Italy with the wide cut-out pass. It's gone out. And now it's going to be an opportunity for South Africa. They decide to take the quick throw 5 metres out from the line now. And Faf de Klerk going to be going short side. He thought he had a crack. There was no space at all for Faf de Klerk down that side. And that is now going to be an Italian line-out. Now, I think they've blown that opportunity there, the Springboks, unfortunately. And not from saying the Afrikaans part good. And excuses are starting already. Says Finton there, but it's about to be the line-out throw for Nicotera. Goes long and taken nicely at the back by the big man Kanone. 10 metres out from the line now. Italy back into the pocket. And that will be Tommaso Allen. Gives it the boot. It's gone into touch. And now South Africa will have themselves the line-out on the Italian 22. But yeah, they should have actually... I know it seemed like a good idea to take it quickly, maybe try and catch Italy off guard, but that rolling maul would have been a really good starting point for South Africa there to try and get that one going on. South Africa need a desperate win, says Ed there a little bit earlier on, and must be special nominated as best player off the back of 5 games over the year, says Johnny. And yeah, he was nominated for player of the year last year also, and I believe, one of the only players who have been able to back it up 2 years in a row, other than Antoine Dupont, actually, who was the player who won it, and going to be a long day for the Italian pack. Says Finton, yeah, they're starting to roll it, and it's an advantage in favour of the Springboks. Now, Damien Willemse, a nice pop pass out to Willie Leroux. Got the man on the outside. Curtly Arendse, over he goes. And the Springboks score within the 2 minutes, and that is exactly the start that they would have been after and would have been dreaming of. Curtly Arendse, 2 minutes in. It's been very impressive. That is for sure. He's scoring a lot of tries in the early stages of his career. And also, I'm only here because I'm drunk. You're a lucky man, says Tony. Well, welcome in, Tony. Hope you are doing all right. Hope you aren't too drunk. And you are going to be able to keep typing throughout the night. And also, we have got there something mofos from Fluffy, and good finish too. And brilliant try, yes, says Alta. And Georgia 3-0, says Gareth, over the Welsh. But Curtly Arendse just propels himself forward, uses that bit of size, well, a little bit of speed, I should say, the momentum created from the tackle attempt. And goes over for the try. Beautifully done by the Springboks. And now it's going to be the kicking opportunity for Cheslin Colby. So they are sticking with him as the kicker. I've always questioned why that seems to be the case, but they seem to be more confident with him kicking than they do with Damian Valimza. And it would be interesting to see if Marnie Lebok was on the field, whether they would still stick with Chesil Kolbe as the kicker. But this one right near the touchline, it is not an easy kick at all. Showing a few South African supporters. One thing's for sure, we're not going to see Rassie Erasmus in the stadium, unless, of course, he is dressed as Where's Wally. And let's go the box, and oof, we need a kicker, says Jad in there. And Chesil is more experienced, says Ed. Well, it's an interesting choice because there aren't many 14s in the world who do the kicking. The only side that I can think of at top level is probably Emiliano Boffelli for Argentina. But normally your fly half, once Andre Polo comes back, I believe he will take the kicking tee straight back off him. But yeah, Damian Valimza, he normally does the kicking in the URC. Same with Marnie Lebok. Some of the few of these other guys. So I would have thought that they would get the priority. And Chesil is a very mature cheddar. And also bad miss for a throw, says Vint in there. And also let Fuff kick, says Alter. That's another option. Fuff de Klerk, he's got a decent boot on him. He got that one over from about 55 out in one of the other games, didn't he? But the Springboks, inside of their own 22, looks like they will be able to roll this back for the classic bot kick here. I think that was Uruza really trying to drive at him there. It's kicked downfield. Good clearing kick from Fuff de Klerk, I should say. And also we have got there, Kolbe, says Fluffy. And also we go there, put $5 each on Croatia and Serbia, respectively, at $70 and to $110 for the FIFA 2022 for Tony. And also power off, says Katharina there. Is it load shedding at the moment in South Africa? Do let me know, because I know that some of the regions, unfortunately, do end up having an overlap with international rugby. Fuff de Klerk considered going for the box kick. Little bit of a mistake there. In fact, it's a forward pass from South Africa. And now Italy are going to have themselves the scrum feed. And what the fluff is in Fuff's face. Says Sider, there's a lot of pigeons who are all very keen on the game by the looks. So quite nice, healthy looking birds. If anyone cares what the pigeons look like at the ground. And also, Hamish, just in time to see some rugby. First try to the bot. Kiwi lads are busy rocking this place. Good stuff, says Roof. Yeah, we have got a lot of streams today, that is for sure. We've got the Rugby League World Cup final as the next one. England versus the All Blacks. And then also Ireland versus Australia to close out the night. But it is going to be a scrum feed now for the Italians. They are giving up about 20 kgs disadvantage compared to the Springbok Big Pack. They have gone with of 907 kgs. Varney about to put the ball in. They need a good hook, and they've been able to do just that. The ball is available at the back. And also, no parents are doing other games. They asked for too much. Says Gareth, well, they are actually going to be doing the first 20 to 30 minutes of England versus the All Blacks. That is going to be the one that they will be covering. So they'll be getting up nice and early New Zealand time. Morat now gives it off nicely. It's some big hits coming in from the Italians. You're not allowed to go for that ball, though, as your player had not rolled away in time. Now, Fuff de Klerk looking into the pocket. He's looking for the option, but he didn't actually have it just yet. So Franz Madharba will hit the ball up. Great work from Italy. No. Unable to get that turnover once again. A $1.06 now, says Tony. And Lanston, South Africa, says Tony. Now Fuff de Klerk puts it high, decided that no one was in the pocket, so he'll do it himself. Nice work from Italy to take it under the high ball. Now Varney looks for the kick in behind. It could be considered as a 50-22. Oh, Fuff de Klerk takes the mark just before he goes into touch. And it has counted. Have you voted the World Rugby nominations, says Ed Vogel. I've seen them, but I haven't actually voted for who I think will get through to the final stage. I know that Dupont's going to be a hard man to beat for Player of the Year, but there are some other very good nominations. Yeah, we got load shedding a level up this weekend by the end of the month. They'll switch the sun off for a few hours as well, says Cited. And allow Alta, says Nate. And there as well. Now the line out throw for Nicotera and Argentina. Or Italy, another team that wear a little bit of blue. Have some fun names to say. It's going to be taken nicely at the back. Lamaro slings the wide pass, but it didn't really find the hands. It does bounce into the hands of Lorisi. Now it's going to be a counter ruck. Italy get themselves the penalty, though. And Kit and the 18 van will be at Omru's Xmas Parade next weekend. Kit and the 18 van. What is that? What about Paradise Snow? Are they going to be down there? Because I do enjoy myself a snow cone, and I haven't seen it for a while. And Pigeon shedding them loads. See Fluffy there, and also hello Hamish from South Africa, from Sean there. I always butcher that name, so I don't want to get it wrong for about the 15th time in a row. But welcome in, Sean. Hope you're doing well. Pigeons and government spies. Yes, says it depends if they've got a camera in them or not. Now the kicking opportunity for Italy. This will be a nice, easy kick, you would think, to start them off in this matchup. Marcel Allen from 41 meters out. It's got a little bit more distance than I first gave it credit for, I would say. And I was like, okay. Says Alta there. That one's going to go over, though. Italy find themselves only 2 points down, though. Now, I should say, I am messing up a lot of words, but that is fun. And Kit is from Knight Rider. So you telling me there's no snow cones, Kiwi Gamer? That would be the deciding factor of whether I go down to Oamaru or not. Why are they having a Christmas parade in November? Seems a bit early. And also, Italy got a better kicker so far. So he started, he's 1 from 1 rather than 0 from 1. Like Cheslin Colby, nicely taken inside of the 22. Monty Ioane breaks through one tackle, finds the pass on the outside. Seems like Italy are not afraid to run it from inside of their own half. Kanoni now going back again. There's a penalty in favour of South Africa, though. I think maybe a little bit of obstruction. And now South Africa, if they want it, they can take the 3 points straight back and feel looking rather tight. Says Sidon and Hamish, hope you're well, bro. Says CP, I certainly am, mate. Went to a 21st birthday party. Daniel's girlfriend, she turned 21, or she's turning 21 on Monday. But we did go out for a bit of a party / gathering for everyone. Ended up giving George a ride home. The roads are quite rough at the moment from the rain that we've had. I feel like this is all information you guys probably don't care about. You want to know whether or not Cheslin Colby is getting this kick over. He's about to take it. And also brought back Talia at $1.11 and get Lance Calamari to do the kicking. Says it was fluffy and also buffering on my side. Says Alta, and also South Africa will score the next try. Says Ed. And there as well. But almost 10 minutes through in this matchup, Cheslin Colby wants to be able to get this one over and give South Africa just that little bit more of a lead. Like I mentioned, they are sitting with the 5 points. They managed to get themselves the first try of the game with Kurtley Arunser, but now they still need to keep on making sure they add extra points any opportunity that they do end up getting. Cheslin Colby, though, 22 meters out. If he missed this, it would be massive. And also, I started watching live. Why can't we continue with live broadcast, says Mike. Pretty much the reasoning behind it is copyright. If I was to show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube and they ban us from doing any streams for 3 months. So it would pretty much be me being unemployed for 3 months, which would be quite unfortunate. But yeah, it's pretty much down to the fact that we haven't purchased the licensing as we don't have multi-million-dollar deals going on with Sky and Supersport and whatnot, unfortunately. Maybe one day. See how we go. Do you throw eggs at Santa at the parade? No. No, I don't know who does that, to be honest. I feel like throwing eggs at Santa is just weird. It's like swearing at a nun. No one does it. Or at least I don't think anyone does it. Now Varney goes back across to the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, sorry. Italy only sitting a few meters out from the 22. Sia Khaleesi over the ball. No, it's an advantage against him. Now Varney looking off to the left. Some quick hands from Italy. Going through the gap, and it's going to be a try for the Flying Italians. And it's Capuiso who has been able to score, whose name I butchered right there, but they have got themselves a big try there. There is then is there another channel broadcasting live, says Mike. Normally a lot of them get taken down as soon as kickoff happens. So that's probably why you can't find too many. I know that it's on Supersport. I know that if you sign up for a free Amazon Prime month free trial, you can watch these games, including also South Africa, Italy next week. South Africa, England next week. Going to be a shootout, says Warrior Q. And also, YouTube says no, and Snow Cones, awesome vanilla ice. Come on, Bok. I wish you rested. And also, we get their stylish try, says Sided. Yeah, he saw that corner and went for it there. Angie Capuzzo. That was beautifully. And Italy had just shown there, you cannot underestimate their attack because they are like a firecracker when they get it going. And now it's going to be another opportunity for a kick. And also, we have just saw a good meme about the anthem, the pace. This anthem felt like Franz Mahalba in a 100-meter sprint. Yeah, it was interesting. It made it really hard to play along with just because of how short it was, or how slow it was, I should say. Italy take a, it says John, and also Italy says Sifo G lining up the kick, and it is going over. Italy take the lead in this contest after 12 minutes. The question, I think, on everyone's mind, can they keep up this tempo? Because eventually we would think that the Springboks would be able to wear them down. But Sia Khaleesi gave away the advantage, and then just from there, pure pace from the Italians. Like I mentioned, Springboks, they cannot underestimate this Italian attack. They're one of the youngest sides playing at the moment, and they are showing everyone just what they can do inside of their own 22 now, receiving the kickoff. It is Morisi. Now Vani goes back. South Africa up very flat and very quick there. Be careful with that. Don't want to give themselves another penalty against them. And what a super quick flash of a try. Well done, Italy. And go Italy. Says Novman there. It's going to be a great clearing kick. Willie LaRue just has to watch it go out. About 45 meters now from the Italian line. And Chris is in the chat as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Yep, Italy and Brazil are the greatest rugby teams in the world soon, like football. I think they should give Mani Labok a chance. Chiseland is good, but he is not settled in this game, says Ernest. So, yeah, I thought originally when I saw the lineup, or when I was predicting the lineup, I actually went Mani Labok as my 10 and Damien Willemse as my 15, and then Willie LaRue's experience off the bench. I thought that might have been a good combination that they would have tried, but they didn't, unfortunately. And also we have got the man of sensational, says Connie. He certainly has got pure pace, like I mentioned. Curtly Aronsa, another player who would fall into that category, though. Being able to find the offload up to Sia Khaleesi. Now the clerk goes back across. Jesper Visa gets one of his first carries of the contest there. Now back across Willie LaRue. Ball on the outside. Now it's starting to look a little bit better for the Springboks. Kicked him behind from Damien Dialende, and it's going to be a foot race, but cleaned up there by the try scorer for the Italians. And that hasn't found touch, so Willie LaRue takes it nicely inside of their own half. Now Willems are up to the halfway line, looks off to the left-hand side. Andre Esterhuizen. Not a lot of space, but like they mentioned, that man at the Harlequins is known for causing just pure chaos while he's out there. And big love, hope you're well. Says Sebastian, I am indeed, mate. I hope you are excited. Romania play Samoa in not too long at all. I believe about 50 minutes time. It'll be an awesome game. See those two in action. I wish I could watch it live. I'm probably going to watch the replay of that match, to be honest. Now, nice run from Damien Willemse. Almost tried to find that offload, but wasn't able to. De Klerk now looks off to the left, 30 meters out from the line. That was a nothing kick there from Damien Dialende. I don't know why he tried that, unless, of course, he had a ploy to give Italy the ball back. I want a flat white and some tiramisu. Says Fluffy there, and also we should beat a team that's outside of the top 10. To be honest, has to be a win for the Box, says Cited, and also roasted book with pasta in Italy will never reach South Africa and New Zealand level in rugby. Nice dream though, mate. Stick to soccer, says Warrior Q. I mean, we're seeing Italy in the last few years have really, or even in the last year, they've come a long way compared to where they were. And, you know, maybe they're not going to quite be to that level, but I think they're going to be a side that will eventually be able to really push other sides in the Six Nations competition. It's going to be kicked in behind once again from the Springboks. So they're playing the territory game. Although Italy are eating it up and saying, if you want to try and do kicking with us, we're going to force you back into your half every single time. And got some Italy at $25, says Tony Dan. Was going to throw a 10 on Italy, says Johnny. Yeah, they're certainly still in the contest. We're only 15 minutes in, and they are still proving that they have been improving. Very much so. They're actually one of the only sides who are undefeated in the November internationals, believe it or not. They have played 2 games. They won against Samoa and they won against Australia. And Scotland are scared for the next Six Nations, says Gareth. And Italy have a great academy now and a lot better future than Wales. Hence the recent improvement. And but common sense killed that idea, though, says John there, for him putting the $10 on. And Hamish, what's your feeling about Kobe and LaRue's position today in the team? Oh, it's a penalty to South Africa. That was close. I think it was actually an arm that was grabbed. But, I mean, for me, if I had to pick, I wouldn't have them both in the starting lineup. I feel like Chiseland Colby at 14, he hasn't really secured his spot in the starting lineup, in my opinion. That sounds harsh because, I mean, in the past, yes, he's been absolutely brilliant, Chiseland Colby. But just in recent weeks, I've just got that feeling like he hasn't quite been as 100% Colby that we're used to seeing. Another brilliant kick downfield from Italy, but this time doesn't find the touchline for Limsa. Goes for a bit of a chip and chase there. Italy going up for a beautiful take from Montijoani. Now, ball available once again for the Italians. South Africa is doing a lot more attacking play, says Chad. And also, Faf can't find touch. His mum was in the way, says Cited. And I actually had a girl stroke my mustache. That was a weird way of saying it. But yeah, at the party tonight, which was weird. I can say first time that has happened. Someone that I did not know just went, can I touch your mustache? Caught me off guard a little bit. 17 minutes in and 18 points on the board already. Hope we see a 15-man game from the Box, says Nelson. Going to be kicked in behind. Now for Tommaso. Allen doesn't find touch. It's down to the halfway line now. And Willie LaRue's got the ball in hand. Gives it off to Curtly Aronsa. Certainly looking like a future prospect. And also free all the girls, says Fluffy there. That is going to be a little knock on the ground. Lost forward by South Africa and scrum feed now for the Italians. Okay, we're going to have a water break. And also Hamish Mustache Feeler. Yeah, it was interesting. And like I said, we almost ended up picking up an Irishman and having to take him home, which was also a bit weird. But, you know, it is what it is. You live and you learn. And also, was it a stash and dash, says Cited. Well, she didn't really mention too much else throughout the night. I feel like it was just awkward because every time she looked at me, I was like, you touched my mustache. I didn't actually say that, but my eyes said that. And should have asked her if she wanted a mustache ride home, says Warrior Q. And also, Riff Carter, have you met Hamish? Says Tony. And also Caterpillar Taxi. And nice to see LaRue enjoy some international rugby before he inevitably gets dropped and chucked into oblivion for the Rugby World Cup, says Sebastian. And also would have been a long drive to Ireland, says Finton. Yeah. Well, he didn't even know he pretty much, because we got some injury time, I can slightly explain the story. I guess pretty much what happened was a whole heap of Irishmen, half of them worked for George, or George's dad. So they were all at the pub, as they do, the Irish. And he just got to the end of the night. This man spoke minimal English. He spoke it, but you couldn't understand a single word that he was saying. So he got to the end of the night and he realized all the other Irishmen had left. So he was just left by himself. So George would say, have you got a ride home? And he would say something along the lines of, and George would go, okay. And he was going to get a ride home with us, but then he ended up jumping in a random car because the Irish people realized that they forgot him. He came back round. Someone's foot got run over. That was unfortunate for her. And then they went home. It always happens when I go out for a 21st birthday. It's going to be actually a free kick now to the Italians at scrum time and shot Jad, says D7. And also 6:30 a.m. for when New Zealand and England end up playing. Looking for touch. Decent kick downfield, down to the halfway line. If it's a beer is unopened at 2 p.m., it ceases to exist, says Fluffy, or 2 a.m. Yeah, I mean, 2 a.m., depending on what you have planned for the rest of the night. I guess that's one of those ones that just depends, doesn't it? And also we've got Nathan, and they're saying that the chat was overlapping a little bit. I think Italy is taking this one. South Africa will make too many errors, says Herman. And also try for Wales, says Gareth. And I'm going to Ireland versus Australia game tonight, says Luke. So hopefully it does very well in that matchup. Hopefully it's a relatively close one. And also back in the 80s, a mate had a free Mustaches Ride t-shirt. And you want to get yourself one, mush, says Johnny. Little chipping behind from Italy, taken by Cheslin Colby, bumped off. But he's done well there. The player for Italy wins the penalty. And they are fired up at the moment, and not yet. But think he's celebrity. Go, Amish. Gorgeous mustache. Maybe I'll touch his mustache one day, says Ruth. And there as well. Maybe one day. Although that's the thing. I don't know when the mustache is actually getting shaved. I had a bit of a cleanup of my face because I looked a little bit scruffy. So I've trimmed the beard a little bit, but mustache has stayed throughout. The last 21st I went to was my brother's. He's 38 this year. Jeez, that's a little while, isn't it? But yeah, the last that I went to was actually Daniel's, believe it or not. So it's kind of cool that I went to Daniel's, and then the next one that I went to was actually Daniel's girlfriend. So they've been together for 2 years at least. It's pretty awesome. It's freezing out there, brother, says Finton. And on a random car, never to be seen again. No, they did know them. One of the Irishmen, he literally doesn't say any words, so he just pulls the finger at George anytime he sees them. I think he works for George, but he just pulls the finger at him. That's his way of communicating. Great kick from Italy once again there. And that's going to go over 20 minutes into this game, and Italy find themselves with a 5-point lead over South Africa. This box have to spring back, says Nkosi there. And also, Ruth, you get your chance, be patient, says Tony. I'm actually going to have a look at the odds for this match. I haven't seen Daniel in bloody ages. How's he doing? He's doing very well. He's been pretty busy. But I'm hoping, this isn't really going to be a surprise anymore. I don't think it was going to be a surprise. I'm hoping Isaac's down for the first week of December. That's a good charge down by South Africa. Almost able to get that ball back, but it is now still going to be, it's actually a penalty to South Africa again. They've been able to do well in that breakdown. Okay, it's going to be time off, charge down. Then from there, they got it back, and then I believe it was offside. But yeah, for our 20,000 subscriber special, we're actually going to hopefully have all 4 of us together doing a podcast. Or not really. It won't be a serious podcast, though. It will be more of just a catch-up of what happened, like, in the last 2 or 3 years since you guys have seen Daniel. And, yeah, since you've seen Isaac as well. It's been a little while. I tried to check the odds for this game, but it's a bit hard to read when it's going like this, even though I'm not pressing anything. And Italian 15 excitement machine, he certainly is. And also like of a sports better, says Warrior there. Now nicely taken by South Africa. Marvin Ori does clean that one up for the box. And now the rolling maul starts. Bongi Umbanambi at the back. This is going to be hard to defend for the Italians. I believe it was actually Franco Moster who went down there. So this is going to be great work from Italy. They've been told to use it, but Italy have their hands on the ball. They get the scrum feed. Passion personified here from the men in blue. They're going to hurt themselves soon. They're going to blow a gasket from just cheering too hard. And Bok not going to win, says Alta. And also, yeah, Chad, we keep on making the same mistakes every week, says Nkosi. And also we have there, why is there an Italian, Ioane? Monty Ioane, very good player for the Italians, that is for sure. He is out on the wing. He's been there for quite some time. Okay, I still cannot check to see what the odds are for this game, as my TAB has for some reason decided that it wants to jump around all over. Oh, no, there we go. It's behaving. So currently, Italy to win this game are $3.70 underdogs. That is huge. For the Kiwis unite, what a magical moment that will be. Looking forward to it. See Sebastian here. Yeah, it's going to be a weird week. We're going to try and film as much as we can while Isaac is down. So I think we're going to go fishing, which could be an interesting one. Get a stripper, says Fluffy. That might be interesting on the podcast. Having her in there. And how much the odds were before the game was $8 for France to win, by the way. How are you? I'm doing very well. I think Italy were around that $8 mark as well. Massive push from the box. But off the back, Canone runs it straight at Damien Willemse. Now 23 minutes into this game. And Italy back into the pocket. Springboks trying to charge down, unable to. And it's kicked way downfield. Cheslin Colby takes it on the halfway line. Now off to Villy LaRue. Considered the kick for half a second. Then decided he has to try and run. Great low tackle made by Nicotera. Now de Klerk goes off to the right-hand side. This is looking a little bit more attacking for de Klerk. The sniper almost made his way through. That'll be another advantage now in favour of Italy. Cheslin Colby plays half. Now back across to the left. Willie LaRue goes to Damien Dialende. Sir Khaleesi, one more to Kurtley Arendse. Big shot on him. And that's great work in the breakdown, but they're going back for the initial penalty. And of course, yeah, it's not great. It does feel like we are testing out some stuff. We did the same thing in 2018-19, but man, I just want to see us win, says Chad. And who scored the Springboks try? It was Kurtley Arendse who was able to score it. It seems like now they are going to be going back for that initial penalty. Are they going to be checking something as well here? Faf de Klerk, though, the sniper almost sniped his way through the defensive line. He ended up just missing out in the end for de Klerk. Seems like this game's really starting to ramp up, though. We've seen some brilliant early stuff from the Italians, but I mentioned it from the get-go. They need to keep this tempo up the whole match up. They can't afford to be ill-disciplined, or else that will end up getting them in a lot of trouble. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are extremely close to 20,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us over that line, we are only 172 away. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, we have got a little bit earlier on Wales 12-3 in their game, and South Africa is 4th for the world rankings, and Italy is 12th. What is happening, says Ernest. And the thing is, if they end up winning this game, Italy, that will even drop the Springboks, I think, even further. And howdy, guys, says Bebop Williams. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Chisel and Colby now about to line up this kick for the South Africans. South Africa should have stuck to their game plan featuring the bomb squad in all the games and beefed up their kicking game. What is Eben doing on the bench, FFS, says Ernest. And I think it's just down to underestimating the Italians as well, because they decided they didn't need him in the starting lineup. Instead, have him coming off the bench, and two guys who haven't had a lot of minutes up against any side, really, Marvin Ori and Mora, then getting to start. And also we have got there, when is the next rugby match starting? So the next game that we are covering, it is going to be, I believe the next match is actually the Rugby League World Cup final. That will be starting at 5 a.m. kickoff, but we are starting at 4:30, so we've got 30 minutes of build-up for that one. Then alongside that, the next game after that is 6:30 a.m. That will be New Zealand versus England. And then after that, it is going to be the match between Ireland and Australia, who kicked in South Africa penalty. They have gone with Cheslin Colby once again, so he's currently sitting 2 from 3 for his kicking stats tonight. That's kicked off high. Taken nicely by Marvin Ori there on the 22 for the South Africans. Now, Italy, They have to make sure that they aren't giving away those penalties in the breakdown for not rolling away. Now de Klerk about to go for the box kick once again here. Chasing hard, Italy Arunse thinks he's in with a decent chance. He's taken it beautifully, and he is certainly packing a punch and trying to get himself into a possible starting lineup for that World Cup. Now Jasper Visa taken down well by Fischietti. Now back across Willemse. Goes to Willie LaRue on the short side. Now Esther Hazen tries to bump out, but another good low tackle made by Juan Inesio breaks. Now de Klerk back to the left. Willemse gives it to Marvin Ori, driven backwards. This is great defense from Italy. South Africa find themselves only 40 meters out from their line. Looks like they're going to be going for a possible kick in behind here. Back across now to Willie LaRue. Goes for the cross kick. Arunse waits and takes it beautifully down the wing. It just seems like he's able to catch everything at the moment. I haven't seen Katie in bloody ages either. I want to say she was here. Oh, that's a good run forward. I think she was here last week on one of the live streams. I can't remember which one it was, though, but I think she was here last week at some point. I think George has been talking to her as well outside of the live stream a little bit, just to make sure that she is doing all right. And Kutli Arunse has to be one of our great findings for our World Cup next year. And the Willaroos are beating the New Zealand girls in the final. Series 8 in there. And of course, that is a matchup that has also taken place at the moment now, available for Italy. 35 minutes out from their line. Now make that 22. They've decided to fire back into the pocket and go for the kick. Taken by Damien Willemse, 40 meters out from their own line. Willie LaRue with a wide cut out pass to Kutli Arunse. Once again, cutting nicely. He's had his ankle taken out from underneath him. Gets back up to his feet, not held. Now de Klerk goes across the Bongium Banumbi, the Pigeons, going crazy at the moment on the field. They're about 5 meters out from the line. The Pigeons, not the Springboks. They're 30 at the moment from the line. Let's play on now. And also Tony Perroni. And over the try scorer, says DJ, so far we have seen a try score by Kutli Arunse and also the number 15, Capuzzo, for the Italians. And Willie is passing like a champion, says Chad. Yeah, he's picking out the passes brilliantly at the moment. Bongium Banumbi, another run hard at the line. 28 minutes in, Willie LaRue goes for the little chip in behind. Nicely taken by Italy and no option but to just run that one into touch. And now it is going to be a 5-meter line out for South Africa. And Tony been drinking too much or too many of those drinks. They have his name. Or that have his name, says Johnny. And also, isn't it the Gillaroos? The Wallaroos sounds all right too. Yeah, the Wallaroos might actually be the rugby union team, isn't it? And then the Gillaroos, the women's rugby league. If I'm not wrong. It's like the Black Ferns and the Kiwi Ferns. No, what is the women's side called? I can't quite remember. I reckon the Pumas will beat the Scottish Seas 8. And I hope that they do have a decent contest in that one. Nicely taken by Franco Mostert. Available now for Sia Khaleesi. And the South Africans only 5 meters out from the line. Bongium Banumbi gets close to the line. Half a meter short, if not maybe less. They're going to go upstairs. Not a big fan of Marvin Ori. Don't think he's international quality. And also tell me what's happening with the box, says Darren. And then, well, Bongium Banumbi may have just scored himself a try, although he is talking to the referee a little bit here. Move away, says Matthew Carney. Number 2 and the captain. Oh. Okay, so Matthew Varney's just made it very clear. He just said to South Africa, to Bongium Banumbi and also Sia Khaleesi, if any of your players tell me to referee both sides, we're going to have trouble. So I think that was due to Bongium Banumbi after almost scoring the try. I think he made a comment about the fact, or said something about them having to referee both of the teams rather than just the Springboks. And Cool Bananas, it's on KO. And tonight's Springbok pasta for the Italian, says Young, and also Italy easy. And yeah, Kiwi Ferns for the women's team and Kiwis for the men's. And also we've got the audios. Ori is boring. The guy isn't ready for international level when Bongi shouldn't tick off the ref while chirping or with chirping. He was scolded in last week's France game. Right. Tackle complete there. Okay, they need to see the other side to check this one. And Bongi wants to be a ref. What a joke. Concentrate on your game, mate, says Bebop Williams. And there, yeah, the last thing you want to do is annoy a referee early on in the contest. Like, I can understand the frustration of if you feel you've scored it, but they're going to go upstairs no matter what. Like, as soon as the referee blows that whistle, you know they're going to go upstairs. So you don't really need to heckle them, I guess is the best way of describing it, you know? They're going to be checking this one. Oh, he then stretches out Bongi Mbanambi there, so he may have been able to score that try. A little bit of the movement. The question is whether or not he was held on to. And also we have got there, I'm laying Italy on 4.9 on Betfair now. It might be a try-saving tackle there. So he's down. And then from there, he is allowed one move. The thing is, it takes a long time to take that one movement. And the try stays says cited. And also Italy can pull it off, says Jung. So it's certainly grounded. It's just the question, I think, at the moment, the reason they're checking it so many times, they need to see it in real time. See, he took a good, I would say, second. Okay, it's going to stick with the on-field decision of try. And Bongi Mbanambi has been able to score that try now for the Springboks. And that will give them the lead for almost the first time in this match, although they did get themselves that early try for Kurtley Arunsa. So the first lead, I should say, for quite some time. No way, ref said stop, says Gareth there. Okay, and it is now going to be Cheslin Colby lining up this kick for the South Africans. If they can get themselves this kick over, it will be a 5-point lead up against the Italians after 30 minutes. It's certainly not what they would have been after. They would have been on maybe, well, they would have liked to be on a lot more points. And try time, says DJ Mills. And there as well, but Cheslin Colby, important that he does get this one over. Like I mentioned, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got plenty more rugby union and rugby league coming later on tonight, including big matchup, England versus New Zealand, Ireland versus Australia. And then also we are doing Samoa taking on the Australians in the Rugby League World Cup final. That kick has gone over from Cheslin Colby, and that will make the score now 18 points to 13 in favour of the Springboks and try time, says Guy Sang. And also, here we go, Bongi, the ref scores it. And also, Jad, what's the score? Gap prediction, says Jad. And also, South Africa for the win, says DJ. And the chat as well, things are only going to get better for the Boks when they drop the bomb in the second year. The fact that they've got Eben Etzebeth a part of that bomb squad this week is going to be dangerous. Also, you've got Ivan Ruas, massive, hard-hitting player. Bongi Mbanambi once again asking for a penalty. That man needs to be quiet or else he's going to really annoy the referee. The last thing that the Springboks need. Now, Faf de Klerk going back into the pocket, gives it to Damien Willemse, now off to Willie Leroux. He's had a good game so far with his passing, and that will continue. Cheslin Colby now kicking this one downfield, looking for the touchline, and we'll find it about 40 metres out from the Italian line. And also, we have got there, Hamish, you got to have your first ever coffee and record your reaction review, says D7. I mean, it's an idea. I still am yet to try a coffee. I haven't had a Red Bull before as well, so that would probably be an interesting one to react to. And also Wood, the ref is scared of Rassi now. He gave the try to the Boks, he's young. And also, when is the New Zealand versus England game on? Should be exciting. So it's a 6:30 a.m. start. There's a bit of a low overlap between that and the rugby league, but my parents are actually going to be covering the first 20 minutes of England versus the All Blacks, and then I will be joining back. And Nate, how great is a night of rugby, and also busy night of rugby, says Nate. It certainly is. Tomorrow night, I believe there's only France versus Japan that is going to be taking place. And also Italy got this one, or I'm just a guy watching the game in unwashed underwear. And also, you wear underwear, says Fluffy. It seems like Bongi is standing in for Rassi. Why not just play the game and leave the ref, says Ernest. Yeah. It's one of those ones that hounding the referee when you're not the captain, first of all, is never a good idea. And, you know, it's one of those ones that you don't want to annoy him. Yes, it shouldn't affect his decision-making, but if he has to keep on telling you to shush and stop pretty much telling him how to do his job, eventually that's going to be wearing on the minor. Whether it's Paulo Garbisi, he's going to be coming off the bench. Nice set play from the Italians, only a couple meters out now. Nicotera with a nice pass, or in fact, a nice recycle, I should say. Now Italy still attacking hard. Marvin Ori almost ended up giving away the penalty, but did manage to get out of the way. Sebastian Negri now, once again, well recycled by Italy. 5 meters out from the line. Nice spin from Kanoni. South Africa don't want to give away the penalty here. Nicotera once again, 5 meters out from the line. Vani goes across here to Cesarelli. Bumps off Damien Dialendo, who looked a little bit wobbly on his feet for a bit of time there. Now backline looks like it's going to get themselves the opportunity with Morisi. Now Kurtley Arunsa gets on the ball, gives away the advantage in the process, and it's going to be the penalty. And Willie Leroux is angry at Arunsa there. He's saying, why would you bother going for that one? Hamish on Spark. It's got Samoa set for 9:30 or 7:30 on New Zealand time. Is that correct? And on your notifier as well, yet some places saying 4:30. So for myself, I believe I've got it scheduled for 4:30. But I'll have a look at Spark just to see what I can find out. In fact, we'll have a look in 6 minutes times at half time. And Bebop Williams, the one, got his eye cavity fractured, says Young. And also we have got there, seems like rugby players are adopting football antics. That French player throwing a huge tantrum after Peter Steph Toy incident. I can understand why, though, for that one, because like Zhang mentioned, he did have his eye cavity fractured, which is not a fun, non-painful experience. Like you feel like literally your face has been smashed in. So for Jonathan Dante to react the way that he did, I feel like it's justified because it would have very much hurt for that one. And now, looks like South Africa doing well to try and shut this one down. They've been told to use it. They can't get the ball out. And the scrum feed now goes the way of South Africa, hoping for an Italy victory and a complete freak out from Bocky fangirls. Says Jung down all goods. And they should take Bongi off and fly him back to shack up with Elton. He's embarrassing to the Springboks and our supporters, says Ernest. And also, it's funny how you can't tell the ref how to do his job, but throughout the game, the ref is literally telling them how to do their jobs. Says Cited and El Rinsa doing okay so far for the Bok. Says it was a roof there and get it, Italy. They're showing a couple ladies in the crowd while Bongi Manumbi gets his knee stretched out or his ankle. Is he going to be all right? Looks like he is. In fact, I don't even know if that foot is injured. Yeah, he's jumping on it fine. He just needed a break, I think, for Bongi Manumbi there. Wanted to hear some tactics. Yeah, he's fine. Get him back out there. And also, all replays, says Bebop, and Bongi should focus on scoring a try, which he was chosen for, not officiating, says Ernest. Right? The referee has said, let's play. There's nothing wrong with your player. Get back in there and have yourselves the scrum now. Oh. Okay, they've said that Jasper Visa isn't going to be available next week for the English game, which is interesting. And also, pigeons are also rugby players. See them chase the bread, says Roof. And yes, great night of rugby. Also nervous, says Nate there. Yeah, it's just big match after big match after big match. Of course, with the league and union. And say what you want about Bongi, are still better than Dweber, says Cited. I mean, a fifth choice hooker for a tier 2 nation at the moment is playing better than Joseph Dweber. That man's lineouts are just not going well, are they? Rolling here for the scrum of the Springboks. They will have themselves the advantage. Now on Reesteisen. Slings it off to Willie LaRue. Now off to Chislin Colby. The pigeons are liking it. And so is Chislin trying to step his way through a couple tackles. Elusive as always. The right winger for the Boks. Looks like there's a player down in back play. Willie LaRue might have really hurt himself here. And also Chislin and a few others won't be available because of some legal restrictions, says T7. Legal restrictions. Interesting. What a game this is looking to be. I'm watching the Welsh game. Italy had a good start, I see, says Ollie. And also, okay, put a cheeky 10 on Italy, says Nomum. So I believe they think that there might have been a late shot here on Willie LaRue. Now, I was looking at that pass out to Chislin and Colby, so I didn't actually see it at the time. But he's back on his feet now. It's like Damian Valimza. No arms tackle. And he is now going to be going for the kick and Bongi. The tackling machine, says Stanley, and South Africa needs to open the scoreline against Italy by at least 8 to 14 points for the final 20 minutes of the second half, because 1 to 3 points in it, and Italy will gain belief to win, plus the crowd boosting them, says Guy Sung there. Exactly right. Italy are a side that play with a lot of passion, and if they can find themselves, I guess, a lot of momentum, or just a lot of loudness, I guess is the best way of describing it. A lot of noise coming from the crowd, that will fire them up, try and go extremely well. And also we have got there, those aren't regular pigeons. Those are from the Mafia, just in case they're cited. Oh, you think they're hiring pigeons as security? Interesting choice of animal, but I guess it's probably easier than having like lions or anything that's a land creature that can't fly. Pigeons are just convenient. And come on, Italy, European pride is at stake, says Young. Nicely taken there by Salman Mora. Now looking for this rolling ball once again. It will be the Springboks. They have been told to use it. So Bongi Manumbi breaks off the back. Nice ball to Andre Estes and hits it hard at the line once again. Now to Clerk going off to the left-hand side. Another advantage against Italy. Their discipline starting to let them down a little bit here for the Italians. Now de Klerk back to Valimza. Willie LaRue has to leave that one for the skip pass as Andre Esterhuizen takes it nicely, and they will be going back now for another penalty in favour of South Africa. Only 2 minutes left in the half. South Africa can get themselves another try here. That would be massive, and it's for the quick getaway, says Cited. And yeah, so yeah, Italy just rushing up a little bit too quick. Good to see Italy competitive. Not that long ago, many were calling for them to be kicked out of the Six Nations and not given November tests against the top touring teams, says JS. Yeah, they've certainly shown that when they play well, they play extremely well, and they can really push any side around the world. In the Welsh game, 12 points to 3 in favour of Ollie, and I hope Money and Ivan Ruiz come on soon. I don't want them getting like 10 minutes of game time. Or it could be like Stephen Perafeta, who gets 1 minute and 2 seconds of game time anytime he plays, and then doesn't get to play in this game up against the English. A bit sad for Perafeta there. Now, Bongi Umbanambi stolen by the Italians. They're nicely done. Add line out time. Bruno. Now, ball on the outside. Hit the foot. Damian Valimza asking for the penalty. Mate, you just got to play on. Jesper Visa had the ball, and you got to join the breakdown. Now it's knocked out of their hands. Thought that was almost a knock-on from Sia Khaleesi. It's a bit scrappy out there at the moment on the field. And now a nice run from Oxneshire. One of the first runs we've seen from him. Franz Malherbe giving another crack at the line, only 30 metres out. Nice work from Italy, winning themselves the penalty. De Klerk is also asking for a penalty, but it's nicely done from Canone. I don't know. It feels like the Springboks, I don't want to say that they're rattled, but with so many players all asking for the penalties, it seems like they're hoping that they're just going to be able to break that momentum that Italy are trying to create. And normally you don't see it that bad. Like Faf de Klerk still got his hands out going, why wasn't that a penalty to us? Use the line. Says it was Avani there. And second half, Box should fire up and come on Italy, win me some money. And also looks like, looks set for the bomb squad deployment at 50 minutes. And there, I hope the ancestors do a better job than the home country did against Portugal yesterday, says Salvatore. And the Box aren't focused, says Bebop. And shall everyone load shedding time, says Saito. So we will see a little bit later on the Maro, the captain of the Italians, running it hard at the line. Currently 40 minutes in. They will kick this ball into touch. They'll accept that half because that was a pretty decent one from Italy. The Box had their moments, but it's all about the focus now for their second 40 of this game. What will be the result? We will have to wait and see. One thing's for sure, though, the Pigeons are having a flying time at the moment, pooping on all the crowd, causing problems, and having a smile on their face while doing so. Can pigeons smile? I feel like a beak is a very hard thing to smile with. I think it is probably because Rassi Erasmus is gone, says Aiden. And yeah, but I would think if that taught them anything, that's to not question the referee just for now. Like at the end of the day, there are people who will be able to question the referee, but the players and the coaching staff really shouldn't be that, unfortunately, because or else then it does get them in trouble. Like we saw at silly South Africa, shouldn't be heckling the ref every 5 seconds. If we focus on our game, we don't have to worry about ref decisions, says Guy saying, I agree. Seems like one of those ones that, you know, for all that time, like when Valimza, we literally just saw it. He was going like this, looking at the referee. Meanwhile, Jesper Visa got a turnover in the breakdown, and then he had to run over and try and protect the ball. Luckily, there was already a player there, but he would have been crying to the referee, and then there would have been the turnover back probably in favour of the Italians if he wasn't careful. And also, I think the South African team have a victim mentality going on at the moment. That's why we are all standing asking for penalties and ref watching, says Jad. And he goes, up, bro, says Aimbot, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Italy, the greatest football rugby nation ever. England, little cry girls and both, says Tony. And also, Kwaka will definitely bring the X Factor during the second half. Yeah, he's a great player. Kwaka Smith, we've seen that time and time again. He'll probably, I would think that he'll come on at number 7. They will end up replacing Franco Mostert and then actually, Franco Mostert might get to stay out on the field. They may transition him into the locks. Maybe you put him at 5, Etzebeth at 4, and then Kwaka Smith at 7, and then at number 8, Ivan Ruiz at the end. And Rassi wasn't questioning the ref. He was pointing out our mistakes, and we need to improve, says RJJ. And I'm the only one supporting Italy here? I don't think so. There's a lot of people wanting Italy to get themselves to win. In fact, I think this is probably one of those games that I have heard more South African supporters hoping that the opposition get themselves the win just to, I guess, give the Box that wake-up call that people feel that they need. in their rugby team. At the moment, there's something going really wrong, unfortunately. And it's a shame because you look at what they did in the Rugby Championship, they were solid. You look at what they've been able to do in past years, they've been brilliant. But for now, it's just not quite working. Got all the talent in the world, but something's not clicking. Something's not gelling for them. And I'm hearing Willie LaRue mouthing off all of the first half. Absolute gutter snipe is what he is. Thinks he can referee the game. And my family are all excited and watching Toa Samoa play the Aussies in the final, says Aimbot. And we are going to be covering that game on the channel as well. Of course, that will be kicking off at 5 a.m., but we are going to be covering it from 4:30 a.m. We've got plenty to talk about for that matchup. But what we're quickly going to do is look on Spark Sport and see whether or not we have got the right or the wrong time for this game to get underway. And also, I agree, Connor, he can't accept that he's out of his depth. Yes, so the Samoa. Okay, it says 4:30 start time on this one. So I believe it finishes at 7:30 a.m. for that matchup. And let's go to the box, says Simpslayer. And also, second half, the Bok will be fired, says Alternate Box. Can't keep losing players with the right chemistry. Must gel and take the game away. And same issue as Munster had when Rassi was there. They're just not progressing. And also, we've got their Godders or I Forgive Her of Forever and Unwashed Undies. An update on the Kiwi Ferns and the Gillaroos. Says Nate, one moment, we will get that up for you. I believe the last that I heard was that it was actually Australia who were in the lead, but I'll give you another update on why is he still a Springbok. He's one of the most overrated in their history, says Connor Cahill. Although, to be fair, in this game only, he's been not too bad. First half at the moment in the women's game between New Zealand and Australia is 14-0 in favour of the Aussies. So that's going to be pretty tricky for them to fight back from, and you'll see the Bok playing now, says Alta there. And also we have got there a little bit earlier on, or I did actually, no, I've read them all. We're done not too badly. Right, the commentators are just talking about the fact that they feel like the Bok, they came out firing. First 2 minutes, they looked like a different side than what we had seen in past weeks. But then something happened, and it went away. I've been staying it off for the last year and a half, but it's fallen on deaf ears, says Sebastian, and also come on the Bok, come, says Lorraine, and no worries, dear Hamish, says Nate. So I guess the big question is, can Australia make it 2 from 2 in the Rugby League World Cup finals? That would be absolutely massive for them. But I know Toa Samoa is certainly looking, try and get themselves to win. Those who aren't listening were all Bok, who weren't listening were all Bok fans, I'd say. And also, what do you think about South Africa losing to Bristol? Maybe young guns inexperienced, says Dale. I mean, it was certainly a game that a lot of people felt South Africa were going to fire back. They still seem to be lacking their chemistry, though, unfortunately. And I think that's really showing how important it is to get your selection right and get players who have played together in the past together again. The All Blacks are experiencing that as well. You see their game up against the Scottish, their selection was all wrong, and it almost cost them the game. But luckily, they were able to fire back in the last 20 minutes or so. But you got to make sure you get them that selection right. Yes, you've got world-class players, but if you can't get your world-class players to actually work together as a side, it makes it even harder. And also, we're there, Quaka what? Says Young there. And also, watch when Quaka comes on. And also, we're there 18-0 now to the Gillaroos. So, yeah, certainly not the game New Zealand would have been after, seeing as they were. I mean, they had the narrow loss 10 points to 18 in their last matchup up against the Aussies, but now 18-0 might be a little bit much. South Africa were losing their heads. The halftime came in a good time for them, says Nkosi, and Italians will be back in the box. We'll be sorry, says Young, and I've seen that for nearly 3 years. And like I said last week, my biggest concern is the England game. If the Box don't win, it will completely end our hopes of defending the World Cup. A cloud of skepticism will shroud us, says Simslayer. And the Usos Farnells down the road are partying. The whole neighbourhood there sounds are pumping. Yeah, if Samoa managed to get themselves that win over Australia in the final, like we saw what happened when they made it through from the semi-final to the final. If they win, like if Samoa had a ceiling, it's getting blown off tonight, is the best way of describing it. It's going to be a massive game. That's why we need 30 minutes build up. There's so much to talk about when it comes to this matchup, looking at the player selections that the teams are going to be going with, looking at past form, all of that we are going to be covering on the channel for that 30-minute build-up that is starting at 4:30 a.m. New Zealand time, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, it will be nuts, says Hanoi. It certainly will be. I really hope it's not. There's a small part of me, very small, This is not my prediction, but there's a small part of me that are worried that England are going to do what they did in their Papua New Guinea game. Or sorry, not England. Australia are going to do what they did in one of their early games and get a whole heap of early tries and then just make it really tough for the Samoans. I hope that's not the case, though. And 8-2 tries for Jack Morgan in Wales versus Georgia. Some game that bloke is having, says Sebastian. Yeah, 12 points to 3 at the moment, I believe it is. And also going to bed with the dog. Tell your score, make it loud, Hamish. Thanks, mate. Your numero uno, says Tony. Do appreciate that, man. And glow sticks on me gumboots, says Fluffy. What happened to the Kiwis? It's strange. They never make the final, says D7. I think it's just because we end up going up against the Aussies in the semis and just get knocked out every single time. That afternoon, what a game of rugby union, says Richard. Yeah, certainly a good half from both of these sides. You'd have to say a better half. It sounds weird to say, but a better half for Italy, I would say, than the Springboks. The Springboks, they weren't able to get as many tries on the board as they would have liked. Same with as many points, but they got themselves 2 tries. They'll be looking to add to that. Maybe another rolling more one could be just around the corner. If Samoa lose, Junior Paulo becomes first guy to lose Origin, NFL or NRL Grand Final and World Cup Final in 1 year. That's a terrible stat, Hanoi. The poor man, if that is the case. And also, Kiwis lost by 2 to the Aussies, says Johnny. And also, although Box lost last 2 games, we saw their depth at kicking at the polls, says Dale. And I should mention once again, Italy are currently undefeated in their November internationals. Springboks are yet to get themselves a victory. So it's a big moment for both of these sides in the second 40 to see who can really show off their skills, I think is the best way of describing it. We've seen more meters made by South Africa, and true, wouldn't be nice, says Hanoi. And also, as for Rugby League final, Australia 110 to Samoa's 0. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's a close game between the two sides. And Chuma Bruh, says Darren now, please Italy get a try first in the second half and hold out South Africa. Says no, mum. So she's thinking about her TAB bet. She does not want it to be disappearing. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are currently sitting 159 subscribers away from 20,000. So we are slowly closing in on that milestone. It's going to be massive. I think we're going to hit it tonight, and I have no idea what to do for the celebration yet. I'm looking around. All the party poppers have been popped, plus the smoke alarm might go off. And will you cover any match of the FIFA World Cup? Is that also someone who will copyright on the video? I don't believe they copyright us. I hope not anyway. So we're thinking about maybe doing 1 or 2 games, or probably 1 game a night in those kind of middle of the week ones, just so that I can do the game and then head to work the next morning type thing. I think I'm going to have to change my sleeping schedule a little bit. And whereas Ruth, she was here a little bit earlier on. I think she's disappeared though. And Hamish John says, Alta. And then afternoon, Nate, I hope you are well. And Kangaroos won 9 last Rugby League World Cup. Kiwis won it in 2008. And then also Samoa lose domestic violence, but Samoans worldwide will be at an all-time high, says Maria Q. So let's hope that they win. And Tino for Asua Malaawi would have been mixed feelings a bit today. Yeah, on Rugby League Live 4 when we play it, he's actually on the Samoan team, but he is playing for Australia in this one. Italy scoring first in the second half would certainly make the game more interesting. Italy becoming slightly a dark horse material as the World Cup is approaching, and she found an open window at Hamish's house, says Fluffy. And if all Polynesians are supporting Toa Samoa, says Darren. And go the 20 Gs. And for Bok fans, did you see a double movement on the box try? Alice L'Italie, says Bruno them. Yeah, it did take a wee while to put the ball down, I will admit. I wasn't sure what way they would go for it in the end. They did end up awarding the try to Bongi and Manambi. But yeah, interesting one. And will you cut the cake, Hamish, on 20,000 subscribers? Please do live stream with cake cutting. I have a cheesecake in the freezer. Could be an option, maybe, I guess. And also, how hyped are you for England versus New Zealand clash? It's going to be awesome. I feel bad that I'll miss the first 20 minutes, but the live stream will still be going. My parents will actually be doing the commentary for the first 20 minutes or so of that contest while we finish up with the Rugby League World Cup live stream, which we are hopefully not going to get a copyright strike for. I think we've sorted out that from last time. And if South Africa lose, a buzzing for the DVD from Rassi and Italy are definitely shaking up the Autumn Nations. Will definitely make the Six Nations a possible title contention. And there says Wolf Song. And afternoon, Richard says Sebastian. And also Kangaroos are sores from the Kiwis games. And if New Zealand manages to beat Scotland with the new selections, e.g. Mark Talia, everything is good with the ABs. I want the ABs and New Zealand to draw. Or the ABs and England to draw, I think that is. And there as well, and if Italy win, we will see Rassi posting from his wife's Twitter. That's the thing, that man, he needs to be more strategic with it. I get that he wants people to see what he wants to say, but, you know, it's one of those ones, if he wants to be able to make comments like he does, it just makes more sense for him not to have a role in the South African team. And it sounds terrible to say, but that's about the only way he can get away with what he's doing. Does that make sense? And it seems bad because some of the stuff that he's saying is correct, but in the position he is, he can't say it. And hey, guys, just tuned in. How's it, Hamish? We're in the match, are we? We are at halftime at the moment. 18 points to South Africa, 13 for Italy. So 2 tries scored by the Springboks. Bungi Manambi scored the second, and the first was scored by Italy Rugby. And then also alongside that, we did see the try from the number 15, Capuzzo, was able to score it. And will Ireland do the clean sweep of Southern Nations, says Darren. Could be a possibility. And also, we've got that, I swear to God, if a box complain about the Italians of all people, I'm done with them. You can't keep complaining. Just keep your head down and play your best rugby. And Rassi in there says Alta. And also, we have got there, that's a long word from Sandra. Actually, that's where she's from. That's a tough name to say, Sandra. A lot harder than your first name, that is for sure. No, it doesn't roll off my tongue, that is for sure. Wallabies are rubbish. Says Darren, Australia Rugby is no match for Ireland. And also Italy doing okay considering Ireland beat them 57-6 in February. They've certainly improved, thank God. They gave the double movement. Try to the box, wouldn't be able to handle this effort whinging. And also admiring your commentary on the match. Greetings, says Marius. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Second half, just about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. For this game, the Italians are back out on the park. Same can be said by the Springboks as well. Don't let Mo read that Wolf song, says Nazi Williams. And yeah, well, Ireland hasn't won a World Cup yet, says Ed. And also we've got that, hey, Hamish, is there any chance of India versus a New Zealand T20 tomorrow? We would like to. I know that if a certain YouTube channel that copyright struck us last year is still doing it, I don't think I'll be able to cover it. Maybe not on the main channel anyway, but maybe we can do it on the second channel if we can get away with it. We'll see what we can do, Sanatane. But if you aren't already subscribed, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport YouTube channel because that is where that live stream will be if we can get it going. And also, hey, Hamish from Spacebar, looks like I'm not the only Kiwi waiting on the All Blacks game. It's a big matchup coming up in the near future. Actually, only 3.5 hours away. And hey, Hamish, enjoy your live stream, says Darren. Right. Second half, we are ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are 153 subscribers away from 20,000. That's a big number. That is a lot of people. That is for sure. But it's kicked off by Italy. It's 15-degree day in Italy as well, and the crowd are well and truly getting behind them. TikTok doesn't show or doesn't care show live stream, says Darren there. And also any subs on the field, says Bebop. Not that I've seen as of yet. By the looks of it, both sides have decided to stick with their same lineups. But I wouldn't think the bomb squad is too far away. Actually, no, that's a number 16 out there. So Italy have made one change, and I believe that is Lucchesi on the field for Nicotera. In fact, no, Ferrari also out there on the field for Cesarelli. So actually, Italy making the 2 changes for their lineup. And hot tub stream at 20K. I'd have to find a hot tub. That would be tricky to do. I mean, we've got an old bath somewhere sitting out there. It'll be a bit cold, though, wouldn't it? And also, come on, Italy, says Richard. And I think New Zealand will destroy them, says Leon. And also, hi, says Logan. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Italy are going to have themselves this line-out feed from about 42 metres out from their own line. But yeah, the early changes for Italy make me think that they were pretty much telling their 4-pack to go out there, empty everything that they have got. And also, we have got there, Hamish, if you have 50,000 subscribers, then also you will read every comment in the live chat. I'll try my absolute best. At the end of the day, like any gap that we have that we can read the chat, we do try our best. Like any messages I miss when it gets hectic, I actually go back after the live stream's finished and read the messages that I missed. But I don't end up missing any of the action. Nice backline there for the Italians. Jasper Fissa trying to go for a bit of a steal there in the breakdown. Wasn't quite able to do so. Now going to be a big bump off. For, I believe there was Ruza taking contact. Vani firing it back into the pocket for Tommaso Allen. Hasn't found the touchline, but wouldn't have been able to. Now, it's going to be Italy Rugby. Once again, tries to go through. Nice tackle made on him on the halfway line. Ferrari gets in there as quick as a Ferrari and was able to get the turnover for the Italians. This is turning into a big game, ladies and gentlemen. Commentary reminds me of our government. Now you see it, then you don't, says Bertrand there. Probably a fair enough statement. I do go all over the place. I should also mention I've been to a 21st birthday party tonight. So my brain, some lady stroked my mustache and that made me feel weird. So I'm in a bit of a weird mood here tonight. And maybe the slow mode is in order for bigger streams. That is a good point. Might be a good idea. That's the thing. I still have no idea how YouTube works. And it sounds weird to say because we're almost on 20,000, but I don't know how to do half this stuff. Like we do a gaming stream, I have no idea how to make sure that we stay up in the corner. It's going to be a draw, says Jack Botha there. And I see Eben Etzebeth now making his way out onto the field. That will be replacing Salman Moura. So it seems like now they're starting to get a little bit more going. It's a 50% chance of rain in Tauranga tomorrow, buddy. Yeah, that would be a shame for another game to be rained off, wouldn't it? For that series. Unfortunately, the first match wasn't there. And Nubi Boop, just a Ferrari, says Reiko there. Right, ball about to be thrown in for the Italians inside of the 22. Oh, that's a little bit of obstruction from Jasper Visser, I think. But it's going to be all right. Now, Damien Dearlinde, ball on the outside. Gislin Colby, one-on-one, decides to go for the kick downfield instead, looking for the 50-22. It's going to bounce up nicely for the try scorer for the Italians. Calpuso tries to cut up the middle. It's an advantage as well. He is an explosive youngster, that man. And it's raining non-stop in the UK. It's going to be offside. And also F1 meets rugby union. And come on, boys, says Danny. And be more weird with a bloke stroking your mustache, mate. That is true. I'm sure if they asked, wouldn't have been able to say no. I feel like I'm one of those people who are too much of a people pleaser. There's some weird stuff happened throughout the night. I'm trying to think of what else happened. We saw an Irish man face plant into a whiteboard. That was interesting. Looks like Italy going to be taking on the 3 points here. Tommaso Allen going to be lining it up. The only games I've seen called off, mostly cricket games, most rugby games just play in the rain, are like a fun day out. And wait, why is there a Ferrari on the field? Well, they made the sub and now he is certainly speeding by. And these white ball series just days after the T20 World Cup is finished make no sense. It's hard to give a toss about them, says Sebastian. That's true. It seems too close, doesn't it? Definitely with the fact that India were just in a T20 final. So if they lose the series to New Zealand, what does that say? Like, does that mean they were lucky? Or does it mean that it was just the lottery that is T20? That's gone over for the Italians. So that's going to make the score 16 points to 18 now. And we could predict in 2004 that Italy-Japan would be this good nowadays. And also, did they only strike your mustache? They did. Can confirm. Can confirm that is true, yes. And also, Try South Africa says Richard. And also, Alan grew up. That's a great take from Gislin Colby. Saw it out of the corner of my eye. Oh, he's done his hamstring and he's about to be crushed by Eben. He's getting tapped on the back. Has he just done some serious damage, Gislin Colby? I think he's hurt himself badly. He might have just done a hamstring scoring that one. Is he all right? He looks like he's trying to stretch it out. And will the ABs reach third if they defeat the Pomps? I think they'll be really, really close. That it was going up. Gislin Colby, you know if he's been able to take it, that your players didn't quite line it up the way that they should have. But he hurt his leg as soon as he tried to jump, I think, and Gigi Colby. And also he was about to be crushed by Eben. And also we have there, can I stroke your tash? I mean, it seems like it's a common thing. Now the French Barbarians versus Fiji game has just started. And also alongside that, there is going to be a match taking place a little bit later on. Samoa versus Romania. Too much kicking, says Gareth. Well, they had to. It was kickoff. But this one now. Okay, Gislin Colby looks like he's going to limp back to his side. And also there goes his World Cup, says Johnny. He might be all right, though. Faf de Klerk's going to be taking this kick. A player who I actually thought might have been kicking from the start. And AB's already in third. Oh, there you go. And also by Colby, I meant, says Gareth. And there, that's going to be a shocker from Faf de Klerk. But there is a 7-point difference between these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Gislin Colby, he still doesn't look too happy. But Eben, like the big protector that he was about to pick him up. And then he said, no, put me down. They're showing a big zoom in on that man's quads, which makes me think I need to go to the gym a little bit more. But he's been taken off the field ladies and gentlemen, and Spacebar said, if you're covering Australia versus Samoa League, brother, I certainly am, mate. It's going to be an epic match, and we will be covering it from 4:30 a.m. onwards. We are actually starting a little bit earlier for that game, but there is plenty of build-up to get through for that absolutely awesome fixtures. Romania and the Rugby World Cup, they are indeed. They did end up getting their spot when we did see that debacle happen for, was it Spain who ended up having a bit of a problem? And have you watched Australia versus England ODI yet? Not yet. Haven't had the chance just yet, but I'll probably watch it on replay at some stage. Great shot from Eben Etzebeth on the number 15 for Italy. Now looking to kick this one back downfield was the number 10, Tommaso Allen. Taken by Mani Lebok, who's just made his way out onto the field at number 23. Pass on the outside to Curly Aronsa. He finds his hands beautifully, tries to bump his way through, but a good tackle made by the Italian fullback. Now Eben Etzebeth, the freight train coming off the bench. The Boks seem like they've just ramped it up to 110%. Willie LaRue is first receiver. Forward pass into the hands of Marvin Oria. Just play on for now. Now LaRue once again tries to pass it flat. One more on the outside. Damien Dialende looks for a risky offload. Faf de Klerk keeps it alive. Now Lebok gives it up to Franz Malharba, having his ankles taken out from underneath him. De Klerk goes to Jasper Visser. Now rolls out. Faf de Klerk. Now to Willie LaRue. There are numbers on the outside for the Bok. Sia Khaleesi gives it to Curly Aronsa. And he scores himself another try for the Springboks. And yes, go as a Kiwi. I'm not backing any team. A happy Southern Hemisphere showing their guns in the league. And also we've got there USA drew with Portugal 16-16. And now Romania are in the group of death with the Springboks, Ireland, and Scotland. And there as well, says Sebastian. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, that is for sure. And there goes my $10. Oh, well. Says number, what's up with these Italian pigeons? Says Chad, there's a lot of them at the ground, isn't there? I don't know why. I assume it's just a nice area to raise a pigeon family, so all of them have settled there. And the Boks aren't Australian or Australia folks, but it's concerning that our defence isn't living up to our reputation against the big team, says Simp Slayer. Right. Mani Lebok now with his first kicking opportunity of the day, and Bok found their grooves. They certainly have. And the thing is, if they keep on scoring tries now, we could see an end score about 30 points in favour of the Springboks, and then anyone who looks at the score would go, the Boks are back. But we need to remember that first half, the fact that it wasn't quite clicking, but now it seems like it is starting to maybe get a little bit better for the Springboks, which is awesome to see. We have got another adult dating site. I don't need any more of those, bud. Although the strawberries are a nice touch. I wouldn't mind a strawberry cheesecake. Like I mentioned, we've got one in the freezer, and it's eyeing me up. I told you the Bok would be fired up. So there's Alta there. And so who goes through the World Cup, USA or Portugal? Portugal have made their way through, which is pretty awesome. And also through to the World Cup, which means we'll never get another rugby game made by EA. Good strike of the ball from Lebok. Straight over, and that pretty much tells everyone everything they need to know. Make that man the kicker for the Springboks. And also we have got there, are the Boks hitting form again, or is it a little too early to say, says Marius? I would say a little bit too early to say, but this is a nice patch. I feel like sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. We've got to enjoy this while we're seeing it, the attacking game from the Springboks, because it may be another few games till we get to see it again. And to be honest, good to see Romania back in the Rugby World Cup, putting their country on the map of world rugby. And are there more pigeons than in the Adelaide Oval? I mean, it's a good amount at the moment. Like every time there's a shot wide, like there's pigeons. And also we go there and see great under the high ball. Another good tack from the Italians, currently sitting on the halfway line, currently going back across to the left. Another big attacking run. Now, that's the thing. Italy, they find themselves 14 points down. They need to be the next team to score. That's pretty much confirmed. Nice wide cut-out pass there. Great hands as well from Juan Inesio Brix. Tries to break through. The Springbok defence looks a lot more structured. Fischetti has been taken off the field. So Italy almost unleashing all of their bench for the forwards. And Hamish, when are you going to do a live stream where we talk about rugby, the autumn series at the end, about teams' performances and stuff? Says Sim Slayer, there may be something in the works that I haven't actually mentioned on live stream yet, but I might have a couple guests lined up for a bit of a, I guess, Autumn International summary chat. I don't want to spoil too much, though, but there's something planned for next week or the week after, I believe it will be. You think Rassi will tweet about the pigeons? Maybe. I mean, if it's a bit of a dry day, then he might consider the pigeon talk. But that looks like the front row replacements are now all on the field. Vincent Koch, Stephen Kitsoff, and also Malcolm Martz. That one hasn't found the touchline for South Africa. Now they have the ball inside of the 22. Italy Rugby, not happy with that kick, but it will be a line out now for Italy. And keep Rassi on the phone and off his social media. And then also Sadawahini lost 20-0 to the Gillaroos. Says Darren, is that game over or are they still going? I think they'll still be going a little bit longer, won't they? In that matchup. I think it's half-time currently. No, it's in the second half. 20-0 at the moment. So who knows? Maybe they can fire back a little bit. Cheesecake, says Lorraine. It's tempting. That's for sure. We'll probably have it at the end of the big day. That's going to be a knock-on against the Italians there. Stephen Kitsoff, close to the touchline, keeps himself in the field of play. 52 minutes into this contest, ladies and gentlemen. And now the Springboks, this is their chance to really show that they've got a great attacking game when they do decide to use it. Advantage over for the knock-on. Looks like they're going to be going for the box kick. Who scored the third try? It was Chislin Colby who was able to get it there for the box. Now back across will be Villaroo. Goes on the outside to Damien Dialindi. Nice inside ball to Aronsa. He has been sensational, but he's lost the ball there, but it's actually a penalty in favour of the Springboks and also Big Bongies. Says Jake and ARDAL says, Scrum, that's right on cue. I know someone was mentioning about you a little bit earlier on, Katie. And welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I'm here, Hamish, just working in between, getting a sneaky listen in every few minutes, go the Bok. And also, you did mention the summary collaboration. I believe it's called Operation Auckland, isn't it, says Sebastian? Maybe a little bit of something. Yeah, that's the thing. Another, well, not really a dream, something that I could definitely make a reality at some stage is I talked about doing the podcast with the Kiwi lads, the four of us in the lounge. Some stage, I would like to make my way up to Auckland and maybe do something up there. That gives you a bit of a hint, maybe what it's involving. And Nick White and Bernard Foley will always be legends to us Kiwis. Says Spacebar, nice run from Sia Khaleesi there. And this game as a total mismatch box will be too strong here, says Self. The first half was not that case, though. We did see some brilliant work from the Italians. Although now it seems like the discipline is going to be letting them down a little bit more. Still mummified in my duvet and my blankets. Yeet me into chat. Says Scrumless. An afternoon, Katie and Big Love Scrumless. Well, Argentina beat Scotland today. They are underdogs, but they've got a chance. As I had the privilege of meeting your two World Cup champions, a certain Mr. McCaw. What a player and ambassador, says Marius. Yeah, he's another person who I'd love to meet one day. And pizza topping for Italy, a Bok biltong and cheese. Where's that cheesecake, Hamish, says Ruth. It's probably a bit early to get the cheesecake out just yet, but maybe tomorrow after the France versus Japan game, we could get ourselves some cheesecake out and about. It's going to be thrown in deep from Malcolm Martz. Nice play. Eben Etzebev taken down 5 meters out from the line. Now Quagga Smith, he's over. What a player he is, and he has got himself another try for the Springboks. This game's now becoming a lot more one-sided, and the Box supporters will be absolutely loving it. Okay, they just want to make sure that it's clear for the try here. They want to see if there was anything maybe causing it to not be a try for the Box. And McCaw was in the top 14 or on top 14 pre-game panel last week. He just loves being around rugby. Exactly right. Like when he's not running like marathons and Ironmans and everything, like the man still in tremendous shape. But yeah, when he's not doing all that, he's still getting involved in rugby, which is awesome to see for the sport. But Money the Bok going to be lining up this one. This is a lot easier for the kick than his last one, and it's gone straight down the middle. That will make the score now 37 points to 16 in this contest. And also Rinse, try-scoring machine. And also Kwaka says Bebop, and also Richard, hope you're well. And also glad I had 2 a.m. beers, says Chad. And the thing is, maybe 2 a.m. at the moment, but still plenty more rugby to go in the evening, that is for sure. World champions are back, says DJ, and back to the drawing board for Azeri. And also, it is like sumo wrestlers against babies, says Yanri now. But let's not forget the first half. I know a game of rugby is 80 minutes, but the Box, they'll be pretty disappointed with how they played in that first 40. Yes, they're having a good patch here, and we can't take that away from them, but they need to put together some 80-minute performances. This is a good second 40, though, which will be something that they look at to build on in the future, but it is going to be kicked up high for Fluff de Klerk. Not quite taken cleanly, although Italy doing very well to be able to regather. It's a little knock-on, though, on the ground. And now the scrum feed will go the way of the Springboks. and go the block. Never underestimate a Springbok. And also it's try time and give me 26 liege soldiers and I'll conquer the world. Karl Marx, give me Malcolm Marx in a starting lineup. And I'll do the same, says Marius. And Richie McCaw says, don't. And also how the tables have turned, says Leighton. Another ref kept Italy in the game in the first half, says the Henry now. I mean, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, the penalties that he gave were penalties. And the penalties that Italy had against them were also penalties. But, I mean, there's an argument that there were a few penalties given in that first half. Now, Faf de Klerk about to put this ball in now for the Springboks. It's a bit of an early push there, so they are going to have to stand up and go for it again. And also, let's go 50, says DJ there. And it's try time, says Norton in there. And also, good log box. They have some for the World Cup, guys, says Reiko. In there. Okay, they're moving on the field. And also, bloody hell, can't miss sniping refs, says Johnny. Right, 57 minutes through. Paulo Garbisi just about to make his way onto the park. And it seems like the crowd are absolutely loving that fact. And DJ, this rate, and might just happen, says Reiko. The Italian crowd still getting behind their team. They need 3 converted tries here to be able to get back into the contest. And I know, Yanni, I don't be like TAS analytics against the ref only when South Africa loses, says Spacebar there. And look at DJ Mills. And DJ 50, let's go. It's going to be fed in. Now the Boks will have themselves the penalty advantage. Faf de Klerk fires it back across now. First receiver, Andre stays and gives it to Lebok. Now after Arendse. Willie Leroux, ball on the outside. Damien Williams down the wing. Tries to spin out of the tackle. Oh, Monty Ioane flicks it back in the field of play. Khaleesi's done well. Now Leroux flicks it forward there. Mani Lebok, another 4 pass. Or at least it looked forward anyway. Now, it's going to be back across. Faf de Klerk, Andre stays in the rush defense there from one of the Italians. Didn't quite work out. Quagga Smith slips over. Still available though on the 22. And New Zealand Wahine getting a hiding at the moment. Yeah, not the result that they wanted in the final. And good to have you here, sister. Enjoy your breaking. Big day rugby scrum. This is going. Glad Lebok gets more than 5 minutes in the game, says Ernest. I think it's showing more and more why he should be the kicking option for the Springboks in the future. He nailed that one from the touchline. He also brings a good attacking style into the Springboks lineup. Yes, Fafisa once again crashes up. I feel like Ivan Ruiz is going to be the player they only give like 5 seconds. Possibly. But now Leroux goes on the outside. Dacia Khaleesi finds the offload to Damian Valimza. Just manages to offload. Arendse, I believe he's knocked the ball on. And it is going to be the scrum now for the Italians. And also scrum a pigeon, says Hillary. And also we have got there, remember those Weekbix AB's cards we were talking about? I just found an entire completed set of them from Nisari. I feel like I said that really wrong. For $50 free shipping, all the rare ones included. Just go, there you go. A few Weekbix cards. And also, when will South Africa start blaming the ref? I've already heard a few in this one, but I feel like no matter what, like in all games of rugby at the moment, it seems to be that like the referee is questioned. No matter who wins, no matter who loses, still ends up being the case. Right, Ivan Ruiz actually on the field, replacing Jasper Wiese. He's getting more time than we expected, which is great because he is a talented player. Now, nice pass off for the Italians. Only sitting 15 metres out from the line. Once again, another good tackle made by Eben Etzebeth. A little bit of a counter-ruck there from Quagga Smith. Taking out Fischetti. Garbisi fires it back, and that is not the kick that he was after there. Tommaso Allen putting them still under a lot of pressure. Only $50. I wouldn't sell my set for nothing less than 400. And now I'm a Racing fan, but with all due respect, I think you should focus more on coaching, at least on social media. Losing focus can cost you dearly. And we're clapping 50 today for Shell, says Dylan. That's very hip lingo, Dylan. As you can tell, I'm a very hip individual. Not really. And you play a ref, just like play an opposition team, have to adapt to the game conditions, says Salvatore. Exactly right. Like at the end of the day, like I guess going after the referee on paper even on paper, it doesn't seem like a good idea. But if you're going to, you got to either have it as your captain who's just asking the question to check a few more things. Nice run from Andre Esterhazen, but you got to be careful with how you approach it as well. Also, we started blaming the referee days ago, says Jad. And also, I just get out in the dance floor, show them your moves, dude. 21st party, says Roof. Yeah, I was busting a few of them out there on the old floor. It was quite slippery, though, because it was outside. Now, Joaquin Smith, another good run. Italy getting over the ball. That's going to be an advantage, though, for losing the feet. Won't let go of there. Monty Ioane's getting kneed in the head as well in the process, and it's a penalty to the Italians, to the South Africans. And Georgia scores, says Gareth. Must focus on the ref, change the narrative. Nonsense ref has been coming on since the Skulkburger at Bismarck, says Oksana. One day Master Mel will cross the line and I'll hide him from the channel. It will be a bloody good day for the rugby community. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get into F1 now. That Daniel Rick's career is on the edge, says so you probably get along with Isaac quite well. He does enjoy himself a bit of F1. Maybe we'll have to talk about a bit of it on the podcast. Comes out relatively soon, ladies and gentlemen. For 20,000 subscribers, we've got a special podcast planned with all 4 of us Kiwi lads. We are actually only sitting 126 subscribers away. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Malcolm Marks throws it in, taken nicely by Franco Moster. He's had a solid game at 7 for this matchup for the Boks. Now Malcolm Marks knows how to score a rolling maul try, and this one might be very similar to a few of his past ones. Still rolling. Italy trying their best to defend it, but how do you stop a freight train like Malcolm Marks? He's got it. I almost ran out of breath and oxygen. And then congrats on 20K, you lads, says Scrumless. Not quite. We are still another 126 away. So we're working on it, but we're getting there. Now 124 away. Getting closer. And also, this is Italy, yeah, says Andre there. I do indeed. And also, we have got their refs are humans and people. Majority is South African fans blame the ref for outcomes. Only way to solve refs is to have robot referees the game. And then boom, subscribe, says Dylan. And also 50 is looking good, says Chad. Yeah, they are certainly going well. He's cool. Just doing some art of banter, says it was Nazi. And remember Brian Lawrence. That's a name that I should know, but I have no idea who that is that I can think of off the top of my head. Now, Mani Labok, can he make it 3 from 3 for the Springboks? 44 meters out. And if he gets this kick over, it's going to become 44 points to 16. This game was close, ladies and gentlemen. And are there any prizes for the 20,000 subscribers, says Bebop Williams? I don't actually know how we would track who was the 20,000th, but I guess the prize is being able to maybe say that you were the 20,000th, even though we won't know. So anyone who's close to that point, I guess, could be the 20,000. Just right, South Africa going well. Great to see them coming up against an opposition who are at the level they can beat. At least they'll go home with 1 win under their belt, says B. And also Rob Shaw's own pub in Twickenham. I need to have a pint there, says Sebastian. But now Mani Labok lining up this kick again. Currently sitting 16 and a half minutes through. My comment on Marks was justified. I believe he is a game breaker, no debates, says Marius there. Oh no, Labok has shanked it. I jinxed him a little bit too much. And what does this say about Australian rugby? I mean, they struggle. But saying that, Samoa also got defeated. Samoa have come a long way in the last little while. I know my brother asked his YouTuber and Twitch friends to subscribe to the Kiwi Lads 3000. That was months ago, says Nate. I love your pronunciation of the African surnames. You roll your R's so lekker, says Bernice there. And there's, I even got a little tongue roll for that one too. Now kicked off again. 42 points to 16 at the moment is the way that it sits. Surely the box starts at 10 against England. I think he should. But Willie LaRue, as much as people like to hate him, I don't think he's had a terrible game this one. So they might still consider him as the 15 option. So it's the question of whether or not they want Philimsa coming off the bench or whether they will have him in the starting lineup. And not much. Richard Abies beats South Africa 57-0 2 years later. South Africa win the World Cup. Rugby is a very unpredictable game as well. And is it a bit expensive? No worries. Just 1 point and I'll be off, says Sebastian. Nice line break here for the Italians. Just not quite able to link up. Oh, was that man tackled without the ball? Garbisi is complaining. I was so tempted to say Mamma Mia there, but I withheld from that situation. Garbisi now on the short side. Doing nicely. 15 minutes left. Penalty advantage to the Italians. Now, getting involved, Bruno. Nice bit of drawing pass there from Italy. This time it is going to be Niccolò Cannoni. Still attacking the line. And also Leka the Tika, says Nazi Williams. Little kick in behind. Cross kick. Monty Ioane jumps up right. Willie LaRue really blew that one. Nice offload up. Another offload. Here comes the Ferrari. He's close. He's not over though. And now around this side, it's the try to Italy. And Lorenzo Cannoni is the man who scores it. Wow. Interesting. And also we've got the... And the chat is like, how's it, Hamish, brother? Hope you're well here. All cool, says Betty V. We are indeed. We've got a massive day of rugby union, rugby league, and sleep deprivation. The best way of describing it. Can't think of a better way spend a Sunday morning, then watching about 4 games of rugby back to back to back, and Italy making a comeback, says Bebop, they're still doing all right in this game. Like, at the end of the day, like, to have 20 points on the board up against the Springboks, it's not bad, you know. Talking about an Italian side that came last in the Six Nations, talking about a side that a lot of people ruled out and wanted out of the Six Nations. Now they're still trying to compete. And 66 minutes through this contest, Eben leads the charge. Try time, says Roof, and said Aussies 32-0 up. 20 minutes to go, and Italian Stallions not going to go down without a fight, says Marius, and do the thing, Italy. That reminds me, we still have a video that me and George filmed of us trying to get the golden Richie McCaw from Weet-Bix, and we opened about 6 boxes. Maybe that's a video we need to get released on the channel as well. Kick is unsuccessful, so the score will remain 42 points to 21 in favour of the South Africans with only 13 minutes left on the clock. Kiwi Ref 2011 Rugby World Cup quarterfinal Springbok versus Oz, says Iksan there. Doesn't ring a bell. I feel like it should. Maybe some controversy there or something along those lines. Nice Italy, says Nazi Williams. Looks like they are making another change now. The number 19 going to make his way out onto the field, and also Wales 12, Georgia 10, and 65 minutes gone. Georgia have got a decent chance in that game now, to be fair. I said that Wales should win it because Georgia weren't the best up against Samoa, but it seems like Wales have really allowed Georgia to stay in the game, and instead of I've got a golden ticket, I've got a golden Richie, and change the scoreboard, says Richard. It did eventually update itself. No, not taken cleanly by Italy, although it bounces up, and they have still been able to claim that ball. The replacement lock gets his hands on the ball. Sisi, now counter-ruck penalty goes the way of the Italians. You cannot do it like that. The golden Richie McCaw card, a must-have for any Kiwi Rugby fan. I won't reveal whether or not we got it or not, and put Richie in a Weet-Bix box and do an unboxing vid, says Fluffy. I mean, if we had him in the box, it would be a strategic one, I guess, to put him in another box, and then just keep on going. We got 5 Richie McCaws in a row. I remember going to Countdown and seeing all those Weet-Bix cards gone from thieves, says, and it was there from Spacebar. And guys who scored, I'm so late, just got back from work, says Loette. So the try scorers throughout this match are as follows. We'll start with Italy because they just scored another try. It was Lorenzo Cannone, and also the first try scorer of the match was, in the end, Carpuso, the number 15. Then for South Africa, we have seen a try from Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Arinse, also Kwaka Smith, and Bongion Banambi. I believe they are all the try scorers, and there might be one more that I'm missing here. Who I can't quite think of. And did anyone in New Zealand get a golden Richie? I believe there's about 500 available. So they're a bit rare, but, you know, maybe one day. Could end up seeing one, or maybe we've already got one. And a golden Richie sounds like a fetish. And try South Africa, says Richard there. Now, great turnover. Stephen Kitsoff, close to the line. He goes in. Oh, and also Malcolm Marks was another try scorer. And now Kitsoff, 2 out of 3 of the bomb squad have been able to get themselves the try. And that brings them up to 47 points now on the board for South Africa when Australia lost to Azuri. Did they play with their B team? I think it was still a relatively solid Australian side. They just got it very wrong, I think is the best way of describing it. But Kitsoff there, bumping off the tackle of one, and Ashio Brex. And also Kurtley scored twice. Oh, did Kurtley Arinsa get himself 2 tries in the contest? And also, I imagine a platinum Jonah Lomu card, they'd go for $500 easy, says Sebastian. Well, even the Richie McCaw cards, I think, would be going for a bit on Trade Me. I'm going to have a quick look. And he gets his kits off, says Gareth, although he might end up with a yellow card for that if he did just that. Richie McCaw card. I would say they're going for like $100. No results on Trade Me. There you go. Maybe I typed in the wrong thing. Weet-Bix card. No results on Trade Me. And Bomb Squad doing their job, says Marius, and also Quagga got the first try for the Bomb Squad. He did indeed. And then we saw a Malcolm Marks and a Stephen Kitsoff try. So all these guys having real impact. I mentioned Richie McCaw yellow card, says Bebop. He had a few in his day, didn't he, old Richie? That's going to be kicked off. Now, once again, the score now sitting 49 points to 21 after the successful conversion from Mani Labok. Oh, player down at the moment in back play for the Italians. He does not look flash. In fact, he looks pretty concussed, and the referees realised, and that is why they are going to be stopping play. And Bok is on fire last, showing what they are capable of, says Reiko, and we must acquire the golden Richie and also try stat attack card, Hamish. And there from Spacebar, and also stat attack, says Fluffy. So 38-0 at the moment in the Women's League World Cup final. That is not ideal for the Kiwis, that is for sure. Okay, so they've called it a rugby incident because the man had his head on the wrong side. And one more try, Bob, please. I think if they get 2 more tries, they'd still feel like they've slowed down a little bit. They are on fire at the moment, the Springboks, and they'll be looking for as many tries as physically possible. But Billy LaRue, yeah, just gets knocked out, unfortunately, for Padovani. Doesn't look too flash at the moment. Who is the replacements? Says Wayne. One moment, we will go like this and go like that. Those are the benches for the two sides. So we've already seen Malcolm Marks out on the field, Kitsoff out on the field, Koch out on the field, Etzebev, Smith, Ruiz, Reinach, and Lebox. So all of the bench has been made, or the changes have been made. And I was question is, does Richie McCoy have a golden Richie card? I'd like to think that they'd give him one, wouldn't they? Like a special one so that he can see what it looks like. Although he's a humble guy, he probably would have given it away. Just showing Padovani getting knocked out there. I'm so proud of Money. He deserves his place in the team. Keep it up, home boys. Says Louette down. Golden frame for the Goat McCaw. Says Nate there as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got plenty more rugby union happening later on today. First of all, we have got the Toa Samoa versus Australia Rugby League World Cup final that we will be covering in less than an hour's time. Then alongside that, we have got All Blacks versus England, a massive clash. That is going to be an absolutely awesome fixture. And then after that, we've got Ireland versus Australia to close out the night. And it's going to be a big game as well, to be honest. We've got a lot of rugby taking place. We are also only sitting 105 subscribers away from the 20,000. So if you want to help us out, if you want to make sure that we hit it tonight, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Greetings, Hamish. If you're a loud screamer, I'm assembling my wife's new office desk. Listen as I curse the day the person who made the instructions for the desk was born. I had a tough time reading it. I actually put together a weights plate holder the other day, and those screws did not fit the way that they should have. But then that's kind of to be expected when you buy a cheap one, hoping that it's going to be good. And also moving to the Stoop Pub, you just discovered my dream, Katie, and also USA knocked out twice by Chile and Portugal. And if the Box win this match by 60 points, do you think Australia should sack Dave Rennie and management? I mean, I don't know about whether or not they'll... I mean, it's more likely if Australia lose their game up against Ireland by that much that they might have to consider new management for them. And I'm buying them in spirit that they belong to us all. And also how much time left, Hamish. We have currently got 9.5 minutes left in this match. And like the way you pronounce the R and the names as well. And if you hit 20K, Hamish, fantastic for you, man. Well-deserved and well-earned, says Connor Kale. Appreciate that a lot, mate. We have been going non-stop, really, for... I don't even know how long. I think we started in about 2020. About midway through. July 2020 was when we did our first live stream. And now we are still going strong. Over 1,000 live streams later. And these two sides just making sure that they are going to be keeping warm. But yeah, Padovani going to be taken off the field by the looks of my eyes are closing. I need some toothpicks, says, and it was space bar. I might have to play the South African national anthem for you again, perhaps. And also we have got how many medics for one guy. Yeah, it seems like they are taking a lot of precautions here. Are you going to the Rugby World Cup? I am not. I would like to in France, but financially, I don't think it's going to be able to be a possibility. I'd like to go on some sort of trip soon, though. Maybe, and I think you deserve some Kiwi juice for your commentary. Appreciate your hard work, says Marius in there as well. And yeah, we have still got another 7.5 hours left of our day. And for fair point, if they lose to Ireland by 40 plus, yeah, Dave, as team should go. And don't be shy, hit like button, subs, help the Kiwi lads reach 20K chats and or 20K subs, I should say. And also, Hamish, where are the Bok undies? They are not on. I've got green. Actually, I've got green and kind of another color of green. I would show you, of course, but since it's green, the green screen, you know, it will go weird. And did anyone get red cards today like last week? No one at all. Not even a yellow card in this game. Did you think when starting 2 years or so ago, you'd get close to 20? No. We thought if we had 1,000 subscribers after about 2 or 3 years, we were doing well. And now after 2 or 3 years, we're almost at 20. Crazy. And I also can't stay up until 5 a.m. And what time are the ABs playing? GMT. Okay, I know New Zealand time it is 6:30 a.m. but I'm not too sure about GMT, mainly because I'm terrible at time zones, sorry. But yeah, if you put New Zealand time to GMT, 6:30 a.m. New Zealand time, and yes, play the South Africa National Anthem, please. I missed it, says Bernice there. And also, I remember you getting 1K subs, bro, says Johnny. Yeah, it was a little while ago. Whoops. There we go. It wasn't the smoothest that we've ever seen, but it will do. And now the player is making his way off the field, so that is good news. Hopefully he is going to be all right. You're going to sleep today, says Bebop. A little bit later on, in about 8 hours' time. And All Blacks playing in 3 hours exactly in Pumfus, Australia versus Samoa later. Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely awesome game. And here he goes in the anthem, just finished not long ago. Actually, says Johnny, yeah, it was apparently quite a slow one for the one before the game. And I heard it, and it was very slow. Right. Scrum feed now in favour of the South Africans. It will be Kobus Reinach feeding the ball in. And it looks like Evan Ruas might consider using this one. No, instead they go Reinach off to Villaroo. Now short side. It looks like Andre Esterhuizen going to put in a little grubber in behind. Nicely taken by the Italian fullback. He's dropped the ball, but so is Sia Khaleesi. It's a double knock on, and it will now be a scrum feed for the South African. You're getting worse with the guitars. Yeah, I feel like I panicked with that one. It also wasn't smooth. You're joking. That was good. Says Sim Slay, and also 5:15 p.m. GMT. And I'm so happy that he got to play today. I actually wanted him to play last week. And also, you're going to do the Ireland versus Australia game? I certainly am. And can I call you Dotty? No offense, my guy, because you got a blank profile pic and a dot. Says Nate. And so Ronaldo has been sacked by Man United, apparently. Yeah, there's some rumours going on around that as well. And also, well done. You should sing it too, says Bernice. We did a little bit of singing during the actual South African national anthem. Only a very, very, very small amount. But, maybe one day we will have a bit of singing. I can't sing, though. That's the big thing. And if the anthem was sung any slower, it would have been a day-night game. Was quite slow, wasn't it? And also, nice, can't wait for the Abby's games, says Polly Bear. And also, you're going to watch the FIFA World Cup. I certainly am. We're actually hoping to do a few of the games on the channel as well, possibly. And the bloke called Hamish should definitely play the bagpipes. Says Fluffy, nice ball, Curly Aronsa, off the Villaroo. Has he got the pace? He doesn't need it because he's going to give it off to Damian Valimza. And that will be the 50 points on the board now for the Springboks. Kobus Reinach went to my school. Great impact player, says Marius. He certainly is. And he has been great today, says Chad. It's been good to see him a little bit more prominent, Sia Khaleesi, because in a couple of the other games, hasn't really looked like he's been about, if that makes sense. And Damian Valimza and Gaza has scored. Says something, I like the way you roll your R's. It sounds like you're saying Reinach, says Luit. And also Kobus Reinach is great. Oh, that's too many tongue rolls. And how many national anthems can you play, Hamish? Only the South African one, believe it or not. And I'm from New Zealand, so it gets me in a bit of trouble sometimes. Clearly, this was the game the Box targeted. One they went north for. This magnificent win speaks volumes for South Africa Rugby. You can put your boots away again, says Tim. And also, you got your Hulk Smash boxes or Shrek boxes. Nah, they're just I can't even remember the brand. I'm going to have to look now. They're just Rivet. Don't know what Rivet is. And also, you have to try Udshorn. Surely that's not how you say it. How do you say that? Udshorn. Edible undies, cheeky, not on me today. And also running fired and sued, well, lost 500k per week, says Darren. And also one more try, Bot, get that 60-plus mark. And also what Wales losing, it wouldn't surprise me because they're having a close game up against the Georgians. And Georgia seem like they're playing pretty well. It's a good kick from the Bok. What a kick that is. It's gone over. 56 points to 21 now. Still time Italy, says Elon. And also Etzebeth is my guy, says Lisa. And also we have got Where's Ruth, says Fluffy. I think she was popping in and out of work. So we'll see her every once in a while. I think it is bullying Wales. Georgia is. Apparently, and Go the Bok goes 60. Says Alta, currently 74 minutes through the contest. It's a knock on from the Springboks. And now Italy will have themselves another opportunity. I mean, they still are scoring a lot of points in this game, the Italians. You'd have to say the Springboks defense hasn't been as strong as it normally would be, but that might be more because they're just trying to go out and out aggression on the field. And also we have got the, oh my God, Georgia scrum is destroying well, says Richard, and thoroughly enjoying your commentary, says Bernice. Thank you very much. We have got plenty more coming later on tonight. Like I mentioned, All Blacks versus England, Samoa versus Australia in the Rugby League World Cup. And also alongside that, we have got Ireland versus Australia. Nice pass in behind from Italy. The ball goes into touch and it's going back for the original penalty. And Oatshorn says, Sean Fowler, you would say it as Georgia beating Wales by the sounds of it. Only play the South African anthem and wearing green undies. Are you sure you're not wearing those South African flag undies that Faf de Klerk was pushing at the last World Cup, says Francis? Not that I know of anyway. But who knows? Maybe I got them underneath and just am not telling you guys. And Puma's Avenger Latin Brothers says, Gareth and 2 more tries. Says, DJ, I arrived late to the box. Actually have someone who knows how to kick today. It seems that way. LeBoc's been going pretty decently overall for them. And go money, go, says Louette. But now it's going to be a 5-meter scrum. 5-meter line out for the Italians. Gertly Arinsu gets man of the match. Well and truly deserved. He's had a fantastic game of rugby. Down time for your pronunciation lessons. Says Scrum last there, nicely taken at the front for the Italians. Great rolling maul defense from South Africa, though, driving them backwards in this one. And also, well, nice average. Thanks, Sandra. Says Reiko there, and also the box says Heinrich. Now still driving forward. The Bok have been told to let it go. Malcolm Marx does not let it go. Now it's going to be the penalty advantage in favour of Italy. It was clear and loud that the referee wanted South Africa to get out of that breakdown, and they said no. Driven backwards, going back for the penalty. Rinsa for the hat-trick, and how much time still left, says Sandra? We have got another 3.5 minutes left on the clock now. Okay, so Varney. Is the referee's last name Varney? I know that's Stephen Varney. Did I call him Stephen? Because that's the player on the field rather than the... I can't remember this referee's name. Also, 12-10 Georgia. Someone said that they were going to be leading the Georgians. And loads of rugby tests this morning, says Darren. I also tried time, says Iksan. And also, yes, Mountains. It's my homeboy, Mani Labok. Also, thank you for all your comments. And there says Sandra. A beautiful anthem by both nations. Solid game, lads. It's been a high-scoring one, that is for sure. We have seen a total of 77 points already. Now, 2 South Africans over the ball. Evan Roos and also Malcolm Marx. And I've done beautifully. And yes, our ladies got to try 39-4. And can we get the 60, says Chad. They've got the opportunity now. They did win the penalty. Only 5 meters out from the line. Huaka Smith round the side with Etzebeth. And then the 2 other big men getting in there, Evan Roos and Marx, to be able to shut it down. Aussies is going to win that game, says Leon, for their game up against the Irish. And can the Box score a try before the 80-minute mark? I'd say so. They've got another 2 minutes. Plenty of time. And Samasoni Takiao, 2 tries. Or scored 2 tries off the bench versus England, says Elon. And congratulations, you Bok, says Scrumlass. And Bok needed this win next week. Next week's going to be a tough game up against the English. But it's going to be an awesome game. See how it does end up going. But Malcolm Marx about to throw it in. Good morning, Hamish. The last time I seen you, you were delirious with fatigue, says Joshua. Yeah, it's been a week since that happened. I was well and truly pretty much out on my seat. Rather than out on my feet, I was out on my seat at that time of doing the live streams. We have been up for about 28 hours. See, today I've been to a 21st, but I didn't play cricket because it was pouring down with rain. So I feel like I'm a lot more energized today than I was for that last week's one. Evan Ruiz, nice run forward from a future Box starter. Villy Leroux goes back to Damien Dialende, currently sitting with 1 minute 20 left on the clock now. And did Georgia win, says people? I think they must be close. 13 points to 12 by the sounds of it now. Labok almost an interception pass. Kolisi with the quick hands. Gives it off to Curly Arinsa, who's going to cut it on the inside. Looking for the try. Finds the pass. And Kobus Reinach going to get the try there. And that will be the 60 points for the Springboks now. Brilliant try. Curly Arinsa, if he didn't already have man of the match, he certainly has it now. And Zanita said, I love the way you pronounce your R. Says Zanita there, and also there it is. And please, well, says Ollie, and yes, 60 plus, says Sim Slayer. 61 points to 21 now between these two sides. Curtly Arinsa got the ball on the outside, had the pace, and then found the pass off to Reinach. Unselfish as well from Arinsa to set up his teammate, I should say. in this matchup, like they're saying. It's beautiful rugby, and it is certainly impressive stuff from the Bok here. Now with 15 seconds left on the clock, I don't believe they will have time to be able to go for one last chance in this game. But still will have the chance of the kick. After watching the replay of what was said to the referee at the end of the first half, Mbanambi was a very lucky boy. Should have been red carded on the spot, says Connor Cahill. And yeah, especially if they started the Bok last week as well. That kick has gone over, and that will be full-time in this contest. 63 points to 21. The Springboks are victorious, back on the winning path there. Rinsa is emotional with just the amount that they've been through over the last couple of weeks. It's been tough for the Springboks to be able to find their momentum, to find their feet, but they've finally been able to put it together, and now they have a big matchup coming up next week up against the English. And also great stuff, Hamish, and awesome 21st. Always a good shout, says Elon there, and a very realistic win. Well played, Box. Hard luck, Azuri, says Tim and Leka, says Bernice, and also thanks to the stream, Hamish, the Kiwi lad, says Scrum, and also Georgia, let's go. And they're from Simslayer and WTF happened to Wales, says Johnny. Just not having a good patch at the moment for the Welsh, are they? Unfortunately. And thank you, Hamish. And also back to the referee to referee both sides. And he's got the try that needed to check. Pathetic carry on, says Connor Cahill. And Georgia won. It's so clear. For God's sake, says Ollie. And question time, Hamish, says Aaron. Although we will be popping off the live stream in only a little bit of time, we have got another one that we are preparing for. Australia versus Samoa. It's going to be a massive matchup when it does take place. And we are going to be starting that live stream in 40 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. So we might have to leave the question time till the next one, Darren, because I will have to quickly cook food in between the two live streams. So thanks, Hamish. Yeah, our star, says Wendy. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated, you guys all being here. And at the moment, we are sitting on 19,019 or 19,918 subscribers. So if you do want to help us toward that 20,000, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. But we will be back in only about 39 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen, with the start of our next live stream. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all in a short moment.